Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, Holiday Edition, episode number
321, baby. Yoink. I didn't know that either. 321. Damn, that's a lot. Holiday Edition. Merry Christmas to all you guys.
I brought presents today. Just so
Happy Hanukkah to Andy and his family. Happy Hanukkah to all y'all out there, too. Christmas, Hanukkah. What else is there?
I celebrate Christmas.
Oh, okay.
You act like you don't know, and like, see, this.
No,
is,
I didn't even. No,
no
I
this
no,
is
I know.
an act.
No, but I said
This
your
is an
family.
act. My wife's family.
Wife's family.
Yeah.
See, that's family.
No,
is
but
your wife's family not your family?
No, they are my family.
So that's why I said Andy's family.
You tried to.
No,
you tried to pull a little
I'm trying to be.
fastball there.
I'm trying to be nice.
You tried to pull a fastball
because some people get offended if you just say Merry Christmas to them. So I have to say Happy Hanukkah.
You tried to pull a fastball.
No, how dare you say that? That's your family. That's not your family.
Although Sam Rosen, a big shout out to you because I talked to him again last night, man, and it's his 40th season as the voice of the New York Rangers. Yeah. It's a power play goal. Great guy, one of the best human beings in the business, super nice. Joined me on Hockey Sense last week, and he is a Jewish Hall of Famer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because of guys
and
like
a Hockey Hall of Famer.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because of guys like that and Andy's family, which Andy doesn't, I guess, believe that his wife's family is his family, but I like to look at that. No. I like to look at that as one big family. But whatever, no big deal. You could separate yourself.
Well, you should have said, I know you guys have two different holidays.
Why do you care so much? It's all good.
I don't.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Okay, we may have to cut that out already.
No. Merry Christmas.
Hey, listen, Happy Hanukkah to everybody.
Everybody. Shit. What else is there?
And Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa. What's up, baby? Let's go. Everybody happy at this time of year, although it is stressful for a lot of people too, man. Like, it totally is.
Listen, can I just talk to the people real quick, Cam? Go ahead and take a break or something.
Yeah, because they want to hear you talk.
I just want the people to know that, listen, if you're having trouble financially this year and you're stressing out because you can't afford to buy all the presents, do not spend every last dime you have on Christmas presents and trying to make everybody else happy. There are other ways you can do it, Cam. You can make things.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can do things for people.
Yep.
You can say, hey, listen, I'll come like walk your dog or something like that for a week or so or something like that. You know, there's different presents
Jesus
you can
Christ,
give.
What a waste of time.
Okay.
No, people
know what
that.
I'm saying.
No, I know.
Because that's what's stressful for a lot of people.
It is. No, it totally is, man. I remember I remember my parents getting stressed out so much during the holidays. I remember that. And there's so many different families that have it a lot worse than that. No doubt about it. So we're thinking of all you guys, man. Try to make it as happy as possible if you can. It's not like, oh, you got to give a PS5 out here. You got to do this. No. Like, sometimes you got to be creative. You know what I mean?
And you got
when you don't have money, you got to be creative.
Celebrate the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah. Jesus.
Do you know that when I was a kid, every year my parents would say, hey, guys, it's going to be a light Christmas. It's going to be a light
Imaginary Christmas?
Light.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because, finances and stuff like that is don't expect much. And then they always delivered, though.
They always delivered. They find a way to make you happy.
I was always happy on Christmas. It was always my favorite day of the year. So I can't wait for Christmas. And when you have kids, all y'all that have kids, you know how happy you make your kids and stuff like that.
That's all what it's about right there. Make your kids happy when they come down in their little pajamas and they're like, yay! You know, so
I'm looking forward to. I make my homemade cinnamon rolls, Cam, on Christmas morning. Yeah,
I mean, I'd eat those.
Yeah,
homemade cinnamon rolls. He takes it out of the package, he puts it in the oven. He's like, "It's my homemade cinnamon rolls. Get out of here."
They're homemade, dude. I take a picture of it every year.
You got them from Schnucks.
Don't you see the picture that I put up there?
No, I don't.
And they're organic too.
But Christmas time is lovely. We love it out here. It's actually 65 degrees today in St. Louis. There's tornado warnings.
Perfect for your scarf. Perfect weather for your scarf.
Well, that's just what I wear, man. I'm gonna put this back on. This is what I do, baby. Like, you got your own little thing. I got my thing. It's
What's
all
my
good.
thing?
I don't know. Nothing.
Is that your thing?
Yeah, I like to wear scarves. Always wear scarves, man. Always loved it.
If it was your thing, like, you'd wear it like in the summertime too.
No. In the wintertime, it's my thing. But yeah, there's tornado warnings going off in Middle Missouri right now.
Well, I brought you a present today. I'm looking forward to
We don't need to open that right now.
No, we're not going to.
Is it a cat? Because the fucking thing's dunzo. They have to breathe, you know. Animals have to breathe. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of different things.
Some psychos, climate psychos are saying that the more you breathe, the more it's going to affect climate change.
Really?
Fucking morons, hey, Maddie? The more you breathe. They're worried about cows farting. Psychotic. Holy fuck.
Who is?
I don't know.
I haven't heard that one. And I've done a lot of research on that.
You've done a lot of research.
You know, Creve Coeur Racquet Club just got bought by Lifetime.
Oh, really? Lifetime? The one that had the you know who in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, that doesn't go on. What? It just happened in Chesterfield with some swinging dick hanging out in the women's bathroom. Everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, so Lifetime is
Psychoville.
buying Creve Coeur Racket Club. So we're in the process
It's a good mix
of
right there.
making a family decision if
Oh,
we're
really?
going to continue our membership or not.
Well, is there going to be like dudes in the bathroom and shit like that?
No, I don't worry about that.
Okay.
I mean,
You know,
like, don't put a blanket across Lifetime.
what just happened?
You ever been to one of those?
Yeah, they're excellent. They're
They're
beautiful.
ridiculous.
I don't go to gyms like that though. I don't like being around people at gyms. I just like to do it at my house.
Okay, but it's not just the gym.
I never went to a public gym in my life.
You can shoot hoops. You can take classes.
Don't
you
care
can do
about
yoga.
hoops,
They've got a
classes.
full-on
Don't
cafe, restaurant.
I could go to another restaurant.
I mean, beautiful swimming pools.
Do they have a golf course?
Slides.
No, that's all I care
Cam's
about.
such a big golfer.
Well,
They got a golf course because he golfs every day.
when I
Yeah.
get back into my membership, I'm going to golf every day like Kate and I used to do.
When is that
I just
happening?
couldn't afford it anymore.
Are you getting back in?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm looking
So-
forward to that, actually.
Yeah, no, I will invite you, and he'll be 30 minutes late to the tea time, which is so
I gave you a
goddamn
heads up
disrespectful.
today that I was going to be a
He's
little
late
bit
again today.
behind.
Like Andy's like, I'm traveling. I traveled more than you in the last 2 weeks, times 10. I was in 5 different time zones through 2 weeks. Andy's bitching about traveling up to Detroit to see his kid play. I'm traveling all over the fucking place. Just got back from Dallas. I'm exhausted, but I'm still here on time.
5 time zones?
Shit,
No.
there, yeah, man.
All one time. Yeah, we're Mountain Time Zone and Central.
Mountain. We went to
No.
East,
That's two.
Pacific time zone. We were in Vancouver, Andy.
Oh yeah, that was
So
different.
we come
than
back, and we come,
Calgary.
so it's just a long time. I forgot how hard travel is, man. It truly is.
Did you learn anything about JT Miller when you were up there?
Yeah, I saw him skate. I was actually talking to Jeff Courtnall and Al McInnes. It was pretty funny. Like Courtnall just showed up, like talking to him. Sold his house for $19 million in Vancouver. I go, God damn,
Yeah.
boy. He's just a psycho, hardcore workout freak right now.
Yeah.
Jeff. He was chirping.
He always has been. He's got
Always,
that
dude.
chin
Yeah, he's just hardcore.
chiseled.
He's a hardcore business guy, and he's a hardcore he cycles up and down these mountains in British Columbia
Yeah.
with
Trevor
Basil
Linden.
Basil
Oh,
McRae.
Basil's hardcore too.
I saw Basil in Dallas.
Basil runs marathons.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He looks great,
He's in
man.
great shape.
He's so funny. Yeah, we're talking about give him a little shout out and Phil McRae and those guys. Man. We love them.
Yeah, I was talking with Phil yesterday because he played in the World Juniors with Cam Fowler, who's here.
And they
as well.
dominated, didn't they?
Well, they won the gold.
They won the gold. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
And
they
I
didn't dominate, but they won the gold.
so I gave Cam Fowler a little shout out on the broadcast last night, but I wanted to give John Ramage and Phil McRae.
I heard it.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, damn right.
Always get those guys in
You know,
there.
yeah, always. That was good.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Always get those guys in there.
I will say though, we were in Dallas.
Mhm.
Man, the setup there, right around the rink, is fucking unbelievable. Andy,
a lot of places you'll see that, Cam.
Andy.
If you're not already. I
Andy,
mean,
if you ever go to Dallas,
most
if you want to
places.
go to a game in Dallas, like you walk around, the hotels are beautiful. There's beautiful.
Did you stay
hold on.
at the Crescent?
There's beautiful women everywhere.
Mhm.
Cougars walking around like with their dogs and dressed to the fucking nines, doing like, what the fuck is this? It's crazy. You can walk right to the rink. It's easy. There's no crime right there at all.
Beautiful facility. Or
Mhm.
beautiful city, I should say.
Gorgeous city. Now there's
Yeah.
some crime like when you go to different places, but that little area.
No state tax, I don't believe.
No, yes. And if you're a player and you could live right by the rink, and there's shit everywhere, man. Like it's just nice
Listen,
setup.
people don't mention. Everyone always says Florida and whatever, and for good
Dallas.
reason. Man, I lived in Florida too. But
Dallas
with
is
that being
hardcore.
said, Dallas would be so high up the destination.
It is for sure.
And you're in the central time zone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you're not thrown off one way or another, whether it's East Coast or West Coast. Easy to get to. Unreal sports town.
It is
You know what I
a
mean?
lot of money there, man.
Tons of money
But
there.
like you could walk to the rink, and your grandma could walk to
Remember
the
when
rink
we
at
had
12
Marty
o'clock at night.
Turco on and Cam asked if like everyone was like cowboys and like
There is.
dressing like
Everybody still has
but,
cowboy boots
but
on.
it's changed though, Cam. It's like it's like a
it's modern.
it's a modern
Yeah,
city.
no
It's
doubt.
not like a country western town.
Well, if you go out 2 miles out, then it's a different story.
certain
but
parts,
in the little
small
ritzy,
town
the little
Texas, yeah.
wait, the little ritzy area in Dallas, yeah, like it's not cowboy-esque. But you go a mile away,
Mm-hmm.
there's fucking shit kicking cowboys, dude, for sure. And there's guys with boots, and they make money too, but they dress that cowboy way and that Texas
I saw
way.
Hitch last night because he's in town, and I
Yeah.
asked him if he was here to take the Rangers job.
Oh yeah, Jesus, the Rangers are all fucked up, man.
But
You know,
I don't think the players inside that room have any. I talked to some guys yesterday, Cam. They don't have any issue with the coach. I'm telling you that right now. This is more focused, I think, towards the general manager. I think
Drury.
And Chris Drury was like a heart and soul player, man. I'm surprised that he's. Listen, these general managers will. They'll do whatever it takes, man. They just completely take the emotion out of it.
Well, it's a business, man.
know what
You
I
got to
mean?
do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And every GM has to do that. I don't care if you're Danny Barrera, who's one of the nicest GMs, Nil for the Dallas Stars,
He's
nicest,
the nicest GM.
but he'll still fuck. It's a business. Like, no, you got to go. You're sent down. You're this. I'm going to buy you out.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like it happens, man.
I'm gonna put you
Now,
on waivers.
With the Drury situation, what do you think that comes from? Maybe the guy up top
Maybe I
is
don't know.
pulling the
I
strings a
don't
little
know.
bit more.
People who are close to that team say that he's not pushing Chris Drury to make some of these decisions.
Well,
But I think, Cam, and you know this, like, you know, from a player's standpoint, did you play?
10 years, whatever.
Um,
Not as much as Andy.
But you know, when you disrupt the locker room and you mistreat, in their view, popular players,
True. Yeah.
including your captain or a heart and soul player like Goudreau, who was there, and
Yeah,
obviously
Barkley.
Barkley Goudreau,
Yep.
who got placed on waivers, and then goes to San Jose, right?
Yeah. No, you're right,
I
Andy.
think that has more impact and a greater impact inside the room with a lot of veteran guys.
Yeah, totally.
Than you would even expect.
No. They all talk, man. They're like, what is going on here? For sure. But maybe some of the guys are like, no, we got to do what we got to do. We're not winning games. We got to free up some cap space. We got to do this. We got to
But
do
when
that.
they did it to Goudreau, I mean, they were winning games at the time.
The Goudreau thing's different. Like, yeah, you're right.
You know,
the
and,
Trouba,
and then
like-
Trouba, like, I asked a lot of guys last night if he was a real popular figure inside that room. And I knew he was, but just wanted to confirm it. They said absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, and we saw that years ago. I remember, and it didn't have quite as much impact, but I remember Alexander Steen being really upset when Doug Armstrong traded Paul Stastny.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
And
you're right.
And it was like, hey, listen, I got to do what I got to do. They ended up getting like a first-round pick for it, and
But
it
who
helped build towards winning a Stanley Cup just a year or two later.
I don't know if that helped, actually, right? Because the first round pick was that kid that got a concussion and never played again. Remember?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, who?
Some kid, and he.
The Blues had a first-round pick who got a concussion, never played again?
Yeah. They traded for him. Look that up real quick. I think you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Okay.
They drafted somebody?
No, maybe I thought, okay, so it was a first round pick, but they also got a player that maybe didn't play. That's what it
yeah,
was.
they
Yeah, what's his
did.
name?
Yeah, the kid who played college.
Yeah.
I know
And
exactly
he
what
had
you're talking-
potential too, and he was
He
actually
did.
pretty tough.
Yeah, he wasn't a first-round pick, but they did get him from Winnipeg.
Yeah, my bad.
Winnipeg, yeah.
Who was the first round pick that they
We'll have to go up there and check that out. So just keep talking here. I'll tell
But
you.
yeah,
that
no,
in 2
listen. Just because they're popular in the room doesn't mean that's the wrong decision to trade somebody too. You know what I mean? You can be popular, but
No,
but were you doing
hey.
something on the ice that's beneficial
But
for
it
the team?
wasn't the fact that he was just popular. But I think the Blues were playing pretty well at the time, and I think they found themselves a point, maybe 3 points out of the playoffs at the time.
Yeah, that's when they lost the last year. It was 18, right? And so they lost to that Vancouver game in the last game of the year where Vladdy Tarasenko got hurt with his shoulder, and they lost that game and they missed the playoffs, right? So anyway, it's all good. Listen, you got to make hardcore decisions, man. That's why it's tough to be a GM. It is. It's tough to be a GM. So, but like in Dallas, so watching that game, and you're just watching every second of it. Can I just talk to the families out there, the kids, the mom and dads that have a kid playing hockey, and they're small. And if anybody says your kid's too small to play, you got to tell them to go fuck themselves. Now, are they too weak to play? That's different, because you could always get strong when you're a small guy. You're small in stature. People would tell me that I'm too small to be a heavyweight. You're too small to fight in the NHL. Like, fuck you. I'm going to prove to you I'm not. So this Stankoven cat from the Dallas Stars, man, he dominated that game. He was everywhere. He never got pushed off the puck. He made plays left and right. He had the puck the whole game. He's tiny. He looks like Andy, but stronger. Looks like Andy.
He's fearless.
He is fearless, goes into the corners, bumps and grinds and makes plays. I'm like, God damn. So if anybody, and we've had guys on left and right, from Doug Gilmour to God, all these guys that never got drafted or were high draft picks because of their size, I'm telling you, it's irrelevant. Now,
he was a high pick.
You got to be. No, he was. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying because we've seen that a lot with different people. You're too small. No, I'm small, but I'm strong. I'm strong and I'm fearless and I'm willing to do what the hell needs to be done because I'm skilled. So just take that take that advice and look at all these small players that dominate right now. But you have to be strong, and you got to put the work in as far as workouts are concerned to get your legs strong and your upper body strong to be able to battle like that.
If you remember before the season started, what did I say about Stankhoven?
Stankhoven?
What did I say?
Don't know, Andy. Jesus Christ.
I said, this guy, no one's talking about it. But
Damn
he
good.
He was my favorite to win the Calder Trophy.
Okay.
And,
Slow down.
and we had a clip that was put out about that.
Yeah.
He was so damn good watching him last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he kind of has that. He's like a better version of Brendan Gallagher, if that makes sense. You know,
quicker.
Yeah,
probably.
It's just a little better around the net. Like has a little more skill, a little more, and he has slowed down. Like Michkov, obviously, and Celebrini, if he didn't miss all those games, would probably be the favorite.
So
although you never know because Michkov is so good too. But this is a great rookie class, though. In really reality, man.
Yeah.
This Celebrini. My prediction for Celebrini is that he's going to make Canada's Olympic team next year, Cam.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Andy, how can you not throw that out there?
I think next season, he's going to have his breakout year this year, obviously. And now he's getting involved in scraps and stuff like that. It wasn't really a scrap, but like a little wrestling match. But he's in the mix and he plays with some intensity.
Yep.
He's got some fire, which you like to see.
Yeah.
And he scores amazing goals. I think he's leading the NHL among forwards in entries. So if you want to get analytics, we can get, analytical. He's among his possession numbers are obviously strong. You watch him carry the puck through the neutral zone, the way he dances guys, and
his
obviously.
Shot.
Oh, my God, he can shoot the puck, and he can make plays. He is their best player, and he's the youngest player in the National Hockey League. He is so damn good, man. So next season, is going to be the year where I think statistically he's going to put up those eye-popping numbers, assuming that he stays healthy. And you want to talk about Canada trying to build towards the future to get somebody on the team who's going to be a face of Canadian hockey for the next decade, 15, 20 years.
No shit.
And, along with Connor Bedard, I'm not going to toss Connor Bedard
he's lighting
aside.
Up a little
bit. I said that last week. Eventually, he's going to start getting hot. So be careful, like, trying to trash him. He's on a trash team. They're firing their coach. They got a trash management. They've got so many issues there in Chicago. He's got nobody to play with. Connor Bedard's going to be fine when it's all said and done. So Canada, that 1-2 punch of Celebrini and Bedard, they're going to be fun to watch for a long time. But if you talk to NHL players right now, who's the better player, who's the more difficult player to go up against, they will all tell you. 100% of them, it is a landslide that, Macklin Celebrini is the more talented player of the two.
So even those games I watch, man, like up close, there's only a few guys that really stick out, and they're head and shoulders above everybody else. And the Blues have some damn talent on that team. They got Broberg, who just is so damn good. Holloway to Kyrie, whatever. But there's a couple guys that just stuck out, and they were just head over heels. And obviously it was McDavid, Draisaitl, fucking Quinn Hughes. Jesus Christ, and he didn't even have a good game.
Does he ever leave the ice?
He doesn't leave the ice. He has the puck the whole game. It's unbelievable. On the blue line, he's just dangling everybody.
NHL players.
Every time he has the puck, he almost scores. And he honestly didn't even play that well, according to a lot of people with the Vancouver Canucks that game against the Blues. But for me, I'm just like, he's got the puck the whole time. And then Macklin Celebrini against the Sharks. They played the Sharks the other day. He dominated that game, like above everybody else as an 18-year-old. I'm like, holy fuck, he's just dancing around, coming in the zone.
Incredible.
He's incredible. It's good for the NHL, man. The NHL's in a good spot.
I said this about Quinn Hughes the next day talking to some people.
You saw that too. He was, Jesus,
dude, yeah.
Andy.
And if you were to honestly, and I know Cale Makar is considered to be the better of the two.
Yeah.
And he probably is. He's a little bigger, probably defends a little harder, probably a little bit better defensively. But for all the excitement that Cale Makar brings with the puck on his stick and with his skating and his edge work and when he's dancing around the offensive zone and he's doing his thing with, McKinnon and all these guys. I'll tell you what, man, Quinn Hughes is just as impressive for me when I watch him play. And I'd have no problem taking, if you said you got to choose one or the other, it's almost like, who would be the better team? If you had like McKinnon and Hughes versus McDavid and Makar, or McDavid and
Hughes versus
exactly. Like it's like you put that 2-on-2 game together. You want to have an exciting like all-star weekend. Just make it a 2-on-2. Just invite those 4 players and nobody else.
It's just ridiculous. It really is. It is pretty funny. We're in Edmonton. I just got done with a podcast with Andy. and we're in Tampa's in town, so we go watch Tampa play. We had to kill some time because our plane was delayed, and so I'm just chilling, and I'm walking. Me and Jamie Rivers are walking back. We're just like killing time, trying to find a bar to go have a couple beers before we get on the plane. Somebody goes, Cam, and I turn around, and it's a bunch of kids, man. I'm like, what's up? And it's John Cooper, and I'm like, what up, baby? What's up? He goes, where's your little dinky sidekick? I go, he's on the road this time, man.
That's my
That's
boy,
pretty
though.
funny. We love you, John, man. He's
Love
cool as
Coop.
shit. Little dinky sidekick. I was dying laughing.
I love Coop.
Everybody was laughing.
You know, he's one of those guys, man. I mean, I honestly, and Jim Montgomery's the same way because I
Yeah.
knew Jim Montgomery when I was like a kid, man.
Dude,
like,
he's cool.
You know, I mean, a teenager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Monty or Coop, similar situation, man. I probably met Coop when I was like 22 years old,
Yeah.
and having beers with him at like Hardy's Iceplex, you know, and
Back in the
going
day.
out around town, and like he just was like a
So cool.
tier 2 hockey coach of a junior team. I remember having a conversation with John Cooper about if he should take the job in Green Bay when they offered him the head coaching job with Green Bay in the USHL. And I remember just being like, well, if you want to be a coach, man, you got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's great here because you're hanging out with all the Blues guys and all the NHL guys, but if you want to get there and you want to actually be a coach, then I would say absolutely go. And it was the best decision he ever made was going to the USHL. I mean, the best decision by far because he had a lot of success there.
Yeah.
That led to him obviously getting hired by the Tampa Bay organization and going to the American League and then winning there and obviously getting to the NHL. You know, I was talking to someone recently who was having a conversation with a high-profile general manager. I don't want to like sell him out here, Cam. I'm trying to figure out how to say this, but it's really interesting what he said. But the general manager, obviously one of the most high-profile GMs in the league, Hall of Fame player, and
I know who it is.
okay, so the general manager says to the person he was talking to, because they were talking about coaching and all this type of stuff, and there's always like discussion about, you know, are you going to move on from this coach? You're going to keep this coach and whatever. And he said, you know, people say there's not enough talent for 32 teams in the NHL. He's like, I'll tell you what, there's not enough good head coaches for 32 teams. So everybody out there is being like, they should fire this guy, fire that guy. Well, you got to know who you're bringing in. I mean, that's why this was such a perfect situation for St. Louis. It's like, okay, yeah, you can say fire Drew Bannister, but who are you going to hire? Well, all of a sudden, Jim Montgomery falls into your lap. He's got St. Louis ties. He wants to come here. He's got ties to the organization. I mean, it just worked out perfectly for him and the organization. Other teams that are in a similar situation right now who know they have to fire the coach, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when at this point.
There's a couple of them.
It's like, well, you got to make sure you have a plan, a succession plan. And I just think people think it's easy to just, we're going to hire this guy and bring this guy in, man. There's not that many great coaches available that are proven, Cam. I mean, you almost have to take a flyer on a guy that maybe doesn't have a ton of experience and hope that it works out.
Or you do the Drew Bannister route where you have a guy that
and just kind of give you
bring
some
him
time.
in, give him some time, evaluate, see what opens up because the coaches get fired all the fucking time. We're going to have John Hynes on, you know, who's been fired multiple times.
Yeah.
He's in a great spot with Minnesota Wild. So like, yeah, maybe you just have a Drew Bannister kind of, you know, have a replacement for a little bit until you figure things out until somebody pops up. But I like coaches that are outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like I like coaches that are outgoing. It's so I could just tell Monty, like the way he talks to the players. I see him on the plane talking to guys. He'll laugh. He'll look at his iPad and be like, and he'll get up and walk all the way back and then sit down by Bolduc and be like, "Look what you did. That was great." Blah blah blah. Or he'll go sit by and do this. Like he's just Jamie Rivers and I are walking. He'll look at us like, "What the fuck you two do last night?" We're like, it's just
that's him, man.
That's him. It makes the room happier.
Yes.
And listen, when he needs to call you out, he's going to do that. He has to sit Brendan Saad, who probably, when's the last time Brendan Saad has sat a fucking game out? And he sat him down. Now he's back in the lineup the next night. It's all good. But like little things like that. So he's not a pushover being happy, but having that happy mood in the locker room when you know that you fucking have to still work for him.
Yeah.
Like there's a big difference with that. So Monty's doing a good job, man.
I know.
I love being around him.
I know players in Boston, like, because he will call you out.
Yeah.
In front of the team.
No doubt.
But then he'll call you that night and be like, listen, bro,
There it
I
is.
had to do it.
There it is.
And
That's
I'm sorry,
all.
man. I had to make an example out of you. I apologize. Didn't I? You know.
That's all you
And then, you know, he and the player obviously have a conversation. They get on the same page.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's no, it is a little bit of a breath of fresh air. you know, it's like even I asked him a question the other day, like, and he'll call you out in front of everybody. I was just like, Monty, when you're watching, I said, like, when you're watching Kyra, and he's like, I ain't watching what you're watching, Stricker, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what that
he's
makes it
just
funny. I'm
man.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like it makes the room happier. But it's not, again, there's a balance to it. It's not like, hey, everybody's good. We're going to be happy to everybody all the time. No. But
I said, what are you watching when you're like, he's like, I'm not watching what you're watching, you know? He's funny.
He's cool. Totally cool.
He just makes everyone comfortable. You know, he gives very short answers. When he talks and he ends the sentence, it's like, it just abruptly ends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
got nothing to say there.
he just ends it. It's like short and to the point.
Yeah.
And
Berube did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Berube did the same thing.
But always,
I already knew what he's saying.
But I always knew when I asked Berube a question, he always kind of gave you that look like he knows, like, okay, you're just doing your job. Like, you have to ask it because you need the soundbite for television.
Yeah.
So he'll give you what you need, even though it's not something you would probably ask him if you were having like a one-on-one conversation.
No, but you got to do your job.
And he knows that. And so and Monty knows the same thing also.
It's also a game. Like they get it, you know. But anyway, there's a lot of little things, man. Did you see well, first off, the Robin Leonard post. We've had Robin Leonard on our podcast, by the way, guys, which you guys got to go back and listen to.
You got to go back.
You got to go back and listen. It's the roller coaster of emotion with him. I think he was traveling in Europe with his buddies like a couple weeks before training camp. Remember, he had him on, and he's
complaining about his salary.
Complaining about his salary. He's in fucking like Morocco.
He's like calling out the Buffalo Sabres.
I
like,
mean,
crazy
shit, man. And then all this weird stuff, like he's hurt, he does this, he's mental health, and then all of a sudden, he's got this place in Missouri where he's losing all this money on a fucking snake farm. Like just the most weird, bizarre situation possible. Then he tweets out something the other day. And I read
like a cryptic tweet. Right?
I read it and I'm like, what the fuck did I just read? What did I just read here? Like, damn, man.
People were reading into it, thinking the worst, right?
Yeah. Is he married with kids?
I can't answer that.
Does he have support at home?
I can't answer that.
I don't know. You know what I mean? But listen, when you have an athlete that comes out,
I thought when we had him on, he did have like a girlfriend or a wife.
He did.
Yeah.
But anyway, like this tweet was really cryptic. It was bizarre. Does it make sense? I couldn't tie it all together. I don't know what he's talking about. Is it political? Is it a little bit of everything? No idea. But he probably needs some help, man. Like he probably needs somebody to check on him and kind of sort some things out.
Well, why don't
mentally.
you read what he said?
Dude, it's 15 fucking pages long. I'm not going to read it.
Oh, it is?
My God,
His tweet?
Yes. Yes. You know how you can go tweet and tweet and tweet?
Oh,
it
was like like a thread.
Yeah, it's a thread. It was a thread. It was so long. Check that out. I'm like, God damn, man.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read all of that.
It's weird. You wouldn't even, I don't know what I got out of it. I was like, I kept
going. What
going.
did you get out of it?
No idea. Literally, no clue what that meant.
So did you think the worst?
Probably needs help.
Okay.
So that's all.
Okay.
So if people are close, so all y'all out there, if you're close to him, anybody out there, some of the players that listen, like I don't know, I'd reach out to him.
Yeah,
I just would.
Can I ask you? I mean, I guess he's a public figure. He put it out publicly, so obviously it's going to create a headline on Hockey Night in Canada, for example, and they brought attention to it, and they made a comment about how they are here for him and whatever, and. This is more like
that's not gonna do anything.
This is more like I think this is more for those who are closest to him, those who have direct contact with Robin Leonard, his closest friends, his closest teammates. Those are the ones who should be, reaching out and and who can really help him.
And that's like me and Andy, like, hey, Robin, we're here for you. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about us.
No
like,
shit.
We're not going to help him. If I called Robin Leonard right now, just even if I played in the show for a while, he's not going to he's not going to listen to me. Yeah. It's got to be somebody close to him that he trusts. Yeah. It's not a media guy. It's not any of that. It's his family or a close teammate that understood his personality, that actually sat and listened to him. Those are the guys that need to reach out. Mm-hmm. You could say all you want, like, oh, we're here for you. He's not going to reach out to you.
You're not alone, like stuff like that.
No, like he probably is alone. Fuck yeah, he's alone right now. He's tweeting that shit out. Like, who knows what's going on with him? It's got to be somebody that's really close with him that literally needs to not even just call him, bang on his door, and be like, hey, let's go out. I need to take you. We need to go hang for a second.
Do you think he's reaching out?
Don't know, Andy.
And see, that's why
don't know, Andy.
I just don't know if you can ever truly try to break down or analyze something like that.
It's hard.
In terms of like get down to the core meaning of what he's trying to say.
No, dude, read that. You'll be like, it gave me a headache.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
But in his brain, he's probably trying to really tell us something.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it needs to be a close family member or something like that.
I will say this, though. I mean,
Excuse me.
He's no different than anybody else who's dealing with any type of mental anxiety or issues. That we wish you the best, man, this holiday season. I hope you're okay. And
Yeah, no
hope
doubt.
you're surrounded by people who care about you.
There it is. You got to surround yourself with good people, man, that genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I was watching Caitlin Clark highlights, just kind of catching up on.
Man, she sold her soul, didn't she?
Just trying to catch up on.
That sucks.
Some things that maybe I thought
they got her.
Sometimes I thought maybe she could work on during this off season to improve in her second year. If you could even imagine that, Cam, with all her triple doubles and the way that she was just dominating the league. And then all this news came out.
They got her.
She did an interview, right?
They got her. Poor girl.
She spoke her truth.
Her truth. They got her. It's
You
unfortunate.
don't believe in my truth?
My truth. It's my truth. It's not the truth. It's my truth. The fuck does that mean? They got her, dude. She succumbed to pressure.
What do you mean by that?
The pressure of the WNBA got to her.
Because the zone defense didn't get her. The man-to-man defense,
she's gotta
or the person-to-person defense didn't get her.
She's got to apologize for her award she gets and be like, it's white privilege. That's why it's psychotic. Who's the Mystics? Was it the owner or coach of the Mystics? Whatever. She comes out. And Caitlin Clark's kind of a hypocrite too when it comes to, I shouldn't. It's tough. Like, I got to reward all the people that came before me. Well, you're still doing all these interviews and you're sitting there doing all this stuff and you're getting paid all this money, but now you're like, I shouldn't do. Wait, what? Yeah, that she succumbed to the pressure, and that's unfortunate.
What's the backlash you think?
People are gonna be like, fuck, you were the one girl that was unique that didn't have to do any of this shit and like worry about your white privilege and all this shit. And now she has to come out and say that, and it just sucks.
Yeah, because you know what?
I still like the girl.
Your privilege is generated because of your incredible talent as a basketball player.
No shit.
And that's not a race issue.
Why would you apologize for that? It's
for
just
being great at basketball.
It's just unfortunate
because everyone's coming at you.
You gotta really talk about the girls that came before you that built this league up to what it is. What is it? You lose millions of dollars a year. You shouldn't thank the women before you. They did nothing. The league is terrible. It's a terrible product. You should thank the NBA players that subsidized that league for freaking 25 years. That's who you need to thank.
Okay, but you know what? Don't kiss their ass. They hate you.
They hate you.
And they all want you to fail. And they want to tear you down.
They hate you. They all hate you. And the pressure got to you, girl. It's all good. You got to do what you got to do. You did it.
So do you think her popularity is going to change now?
God, yeah.
Do you think?
Unfortunately,
do you think we'll see fewer sold-out arenas?
Yes.
Fewer kids chasing her down?
The kids, maybe not. But the parents, listen, it's not about the kid, but the parents are like, oh God.
Do you think
she was like a unique breed that just did her thing, that didn't fucking have to talk about anything. She wasn't political.
And you don't know what she's going through mentally either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She probably is just like,
she's
everywhere she goes,
overwhelmed. She's probably. Let me just say this. I bet you can only put the face on for so long.
Yeah.
I don't care how great you are, but when you deal with that much
scrutiny,
and you got these women like wanting to literally
hate you,
like.
They hate you.
Knock you out every time you go to the basket. And the way they're talking shit to you.
Jesus.
I'm sure that takes a mental toll.
It does,
and it led to her just being like, okay.
White privilege is all because I'm white. There it is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
And guess what? They're still going to try to take her down.
There it is, Andy. They still hate you. It's never enough. It'll be never enough. So you might as well just be a rebel. Be the girl's like, no, look, I'm just dominating, okay? Get the fuck out of here. You're lucky you have me. Your salaries are going to go up because of me. You're flying private because of me. And it's not because I'm white. It's because I'm an unbelievable athlete.
Are they flying private? They're losing $40 million a year.
$40 fucking million.
So are they really?
What a great product. What a great product that is.
Scott Jennings had some comments about that.
Oh, he's owning people's souls right now. It's so funny.
You didn't even know who he was till
Yes, I did. I just didn't know the name.
Attention.
No.
You got so mad at me when I asked him.
That was great. You got me on that.
Hey, that better make the best of, by the way.
You got me on that. You did, because I knew who he was. Because I just forgot his name.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you did just watch one clip, and you're like, hey, Scott Jennings. Because
No,
that's
I
how
was
how it
watching
works
the
with you.
election.
But Scott Jennings is owning people's souls right now.
Do you think CNN will like continue to employ him, or are they just going to
the
be like,
ratings?
this is
The people are watching because of him now.
because of him?
Yeah.
When he's on,
When he's on,
he
they
should have
watch.
his own show on there.
He's probably
he's
making
only-
he's probably making $7 million a year.
He's only good though. I don't want to say only good, but he's at his best in a round table.
Well, he's at his best when he's going against people that think completely differently than him.
Correct. And that's should be the case for anybody.
I agree. Listen, back in the day, in the like early 2000s and stuff like that, in the mid 2000s, like even Fox News, CNN, all of them would have debates left and right, like Piers Morgan does. Love watching Piers.
You like Piers?
Do I agree with everything he says? Absolutely not. Do I love the way he debates people? Yeah, fucking A right.
Mm-hmm.
He gets on every single person and they shoot the shit and they yell at each other. That's what I want. Nowadays, it's like you have all these pundits on and they agree with everything you say. So I agree. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I want toe-to-toe.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go toe-to-toe. I want to hear both sides of everything.
toe-to-toe.
Let's go. Let's go toe-to-toe. That seems like it doesn't happen anymore. But now it's kind of coming back a little bit. But Piers Morgan does a great job with that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking hilarious. He was great on The Apprentice back in the day, too.
When does he? Is that an English show or is it
No,
on
it's
here?
His podcast. It's on YouTube.
Oh, it's a
man.
podcast.
Yeah, he was on Good Morning Britain or whatever it was, and he walked off. And he's a little pussy boy at times too. Like, don't get me wrong, but at least he has everybody on, and he goes toe to toe, and he believes what he believes. And even Bill Maher, I like Bill now. Like Bill's like a lot better. Like he's got all these guys on. They go toe to toe the whole time. I love it.
But he'll surprise you with some of his takes sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
and a lot of things I don't agree with. But
I've seen his show live in L.A. one time.
Yeah.
I was walking down the beach one time and somebody gave me tickets to his show, freezing inside that studio. But he's good at what he does. Caitlin Clark, though, just to summarize, I'm sure that she's still working on her game. I
Poor
hope
girl.
she doesn't lose her touch.
They all hate her. It just sucks.
I still would build my franchise around her.
Well, of course she would. She's the best player by a mile. She's Macklin Celebrini, Quinn Hughes, Connor McDavid, fucking Leon Draisaitl, all combined into one. That's how much better she is than everybody else in that league.
She's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan.
There you go. Because, hey, listen, the NBA was shitty for a while until Bird and all that. But people were like, well, the NBA was losing money for a while. They had the ABA. They had all these different things competing with each other.
They're losing money now.
They're losing. Why do you
Their
think that?
ratings
Why
are
do you think
terrible.
that is?
I don't know. And what's going on with LeBron, dude? He like walked away from the Lakers and shit. You think this is really Diddy related, or is that too?
Nothing like a Diddy party. Nothing like a Diddy party. Fuck him. He's annoying.
So what's the latest with that?
I don't know. Listen, he could be hurt. It could be this. It could be that. I don't give a fuck.
He ain't walking away because
I'm not worried
Diddy,
about LeBron. The Jay-Z thing, like you're banging a 13-year-old girl and had a fucking kid with her. That's just like, who knows what
is that true?
Don't know, but I would believe it. Like if I had to roll the dice on that, I would say, fuck yeah, he did that.
I think the lawyer who's coming at him is like the most successful lawyer in America. There's something about that. And there was some talk about how he sent an A-list celebrity some type of letter, and then the celebrity was going back at him, and they're putting this connection to that whole thing, to that being Jay-Z from the beginning.
So do I believe Jay-Z? Yeah, fuck no. But on the other hand, believe all women, they say. Believe all women. No. How about that fucking broad from North Carolina, the lacrosse team?
No, the Duke.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah.
The Duke lacrosse. Now she comes out like they ruined those kids. Ruined them.
Do you know the one guy?
All those pundits for years and years and years ruined those kids. And now she came out and finally said, they did nothing to me. She should be in fucking jail.
Wow. Do you know the one guy who did defend the Duke lacrosse team? He was the columnist for the Duke student newspaper at the time, and he's now Trump's chief of staff or something.
Yeah, he's on Trump's. I don't know the exact title, but
I want to say chief of staff or something.
Something like that. He's high up. And he was defending them, and he got rocked and ridiculed and ridiculed.
He was the only one that said,
believe all women.
On national television, he was like, what if it's not true?
Yeah.
What if they didn't do this?
I know. So,
and it rocked at the time where we were at in the country. It rocked the country because nobody expected this from the privileged white Duke lacrosse players.
And sometimes rightfully so. Those little white rich boys think they can get away with fucking all kinds of stuff. No doubt. Hey, No doubt about that.
And they didn't do it.
They
and
didn't.
Their lives were basically ruined.
But they sued the school for a fucking good amount
Did
of money.
they?
I believe so.
Why?
They
Because
should.
they kicked them out of school? Or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't believe
Didn't they
him.
get rid of the cross program for a little bit?
Andy, they shut everything down. So you had this chick's fucking,
so what do you mean? How did she come out and say this?
I remember right at the time, like it was such a big story, and she's like, it was a huge story. Like all the details don't know, but it went on and on and on. And people figured out that
because I've been tired. I've been a little tired. I haven't been paying attention as much.
Andy's been traveling a lot more than I have. Man, I don't know how these guys do it, dude. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like being on these road trips now, like I don't care how nice your plane is. The Blues have a unbelievable plane. Mm-hmm. Everything's top notch. We stay at the nicest of nice. It's all good, but fuck, is it tiring, dude? Yeah. Even if you're doing radio, like it's so tiring to travel, waiting. There's always delays. Like even if you fly private, like if you're in Edmonton, you got to get everything sprayed down. That takes 25 minutes. Sometimes whenever like
the outside of the plane, de-ice the plane.
And our pilots got delayed the night before. So we have to go to Vancouver or whatever it is. It's already late at night. Now our pilots got delayed, so they are like truck drivers to where they have to have a certain amount of time where they have resting.
Yeah.
Which is great so we sat on the plane for 2.5 hours before we left.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of anything mechanical or anything like that.
No, these guys, man, they've had like 13 games in like 13 different cities or something like that.
And they're not the only ones.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning had to fly from Tampa. Talking to some of the scouts, they're cool as shit. Everybody's cool, man. I love talking to all these guys. They had to go from fucking Tampa to Seattle or Vancouver or whatever it was. Taylor Swift's there. They were supposed to go 2 nights before. They had to leave the day of. And later the day of. So that's like a 7-hour flight.
Yeah.
And they get in at whatever. Like they get their ass kicked the next day or whatever it is. Like you have no legs, man.
No.
Like you just don't. You have no legs when you travel that much. Like it's crazy. So a lot of these teams. So it's no excuse for the Blues. A lot of these teams are going crazy ass road trips because of the Four Nations stuff.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's hardcore travel, man.
We've seen this in Olympic years in the past too. Hey, listen, I haven't asked you because we haven't done the show about your reaction to Luigi.
Don't know enough about it still. I can't
I
comment on
gave you
it.
a heads up on this.
Because I don't know enough about it yet. We don't know. All I know is people
Magione.
All I know is people are celebrating his murder like he's
Is it Brian Thompson? Is that the name of the United Healthcare CEO?
Yeah. Yeah, and people are like, drug dealers do get shot. Okay. But that was weird. I don't know enough about it yet.
Who said that? I think Chris Rock said that.
But my point is, like, when these cases go down, I'm not going to jump on fucking Twitter and be like, this is what's going or people are celebrating this kid. I don't know enough about it yet, but I will eventually. Once all this goes down.
What are you thinking? There's like a...
I just think that he's a rich kid that had everything going for him.
Okay, we know that, yeah.
He's a handsome kid. His mom and dad have money. Why the fuck do you care about this guy that much? Why do you care to kill him? What is going on?
Well, because he had a serious back injury, and I guess he had some back surgery or whatever, and I would imagine there was some type of insurance dispute that was going on.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, how fucked up? What's wrong with you? Well, what's the deal with it? Like, how about this kid? How about that?
He hadn't talked to his family and friends for months.
Okay. How about that straight up gangster that killed Colin Brown? Mm-hmm. That fucking thug gangster. Scum of the earth, Garrett Jordan. Look at his rap sheet. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the crimes he made. It's unbelievable. And he's out. I mean, gangster of all gangsters. Mm-hmm. What if he's mentally ill? Is he a victim now?
Okay, you're coming at me with this. I'm not.
You come at me with everything else. I'm just saying, like, we're taking this mental illness thing, and we're putting it in such a pedestal.
He's just a fucking
psycho. He's a gangster, dude. So it's like I don't know. I don't know enough about.
We look at that different. You're right. We look at that differently than we do Luigi. When in reality, they're just all fucking bad people.
They're bad people. Like Like, really, that affected you that much because you hurt your back? I hurt my fucking back too.
And you can afford your medical bills.
You can afford your medical bills. How about all these people that can't afford it?
Yeah.
It's just.
How about that
odd.
mother of 3 from Boston? I believe she's 42 years old. And on the shell casings for Luigi, it said like, destroy, depose, or whatever. It had some words. Written on the shell casings. Mm-hmm. 3 words. So she's on the phone with like Blue Cross Blue Shield or Anthem or whatever, I don't know. and she says she's on a recorded line talking to this agent,
Yeah.
and they're screaming, ah, and so she used those words that were on the shell casing, blah blah blah, and said, "You're next." Well, they arrested her, man, and she's looking at like 15 years in prison. She's hysterically crying in court, like.
Yeah.
But you can't be making threats,
Can't
Now
be
her
making threats.
her attorney is like, saying she should be protected by the First Amendment, but like, not after this type of stuff. I love these criminal defense attorneys though, and watching these interviews with Luigi's defense attorney. I guess his family must have retained an attorney for him or something. He won't say who retained him, but he's like, I haven't seen one speck of evidence, not one speck. It's like they find him. And he's got the ID on him that he checked in to the hostel with.
Yeah.
He had the 3D image of the gun and all that type of stuff. So.
It's bizarre, but I'm waiting for everything to come out. Like you can't. There's so much more to it. Just like these drones that are going on, man. People are fucking crazy about it, which is so odd. It's so scary. It's weird. But I look at the drone thing and what I read about it. Like I think this is U.S. These are U.S. drones, not from Iran. They're not from Iran, because if they're from Iran, they would probably shoot them down. Although we had a goddamn Chinese spy balloon sitting in fucking 60,000 feet behind my backyard, went through Canada all the way through. They didn't shoot that down.
We don't know if that's true. It was in your backyard. Cam says it was in his backyard.
Look at the flight plan, dude. Do your research, homie.
Did you see it up there?
Yes, we saw it.
You take a picture of it?
I filmed it, dude. We talked about this. Stop. You don't have to do that every time. You know that was there, and it is what it is. You didn't shoot it down until it went off the coast of North Carolina. So that's still in play.
Mm-hmm.
But the people I listened to said that these are drones, and they're looking for either nuclear waste around New Jersey, because there's a couple bombs missing from Ukraine that have nuclear warheads that they drained out, blah, 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 blah. And they want to look for this waste so it doesn't get into the water and stuff like that. Because when you fly drones at night, there's no reason to fly drones at night. Why they do that, don't know. Or they're looking for like methane gas leaks, because there's a town that just blew up because of methane gas leaking through, and it fucking
but if it's government related, I don't know why they would hide that. Number one,
why would they not? They're psychos, man.
If they're looking for like leaks, they
don't want to scare the people.
Okay, but like Air Force bases are like shutting down.
I know,
because they're not even aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Andy, so there's different parts of the government. Sometimes one part of the government doesn't talk to the other part.
But you would think the military.
Totally. That's why it's shady. That's why we're talking about it. We don't know everything yet. We're just bringing it up, but it's shady. Yeah. It's weird. A lot of weird stuff is going on.
But I am getting back to the Garrett Jordan situation real quick. I'm glad they've made a couple of arrests, although I don't think they've confirmed that the Garrett Jordan who they arrested is the actual shooter.
It could be his buddy.
They don't even know if he's the shooter, but I think they've charged him anyway.
Charge him, dude. Put him in jail anyway. Like, look at his rap sheet. Like, what are we doing?
So these guys get out, and this is what happens.
Exactly.
But it's amazing police work how they can discover you sitting in your car here. Yeah. A drug deal goes bad, so they've arrested or at least identified some people that were involved. Yeah. No, they did arrest some of the individuals that were involved with this cocaine drug deal that was going on, and sitting in his car and follow his car path to where the shooting would have taken place, and then he went back to the area of this neighborhood. So I don't know how they do it, man. It's pretty remarkable.
Do know how they do it. They got all kinds of different technology, of course. They need to do a better job of that, or they need to do a better job of keeping these guys in jail and prison. My God almighty, it's psychotic. St. Louis is
How do you do that, though?
You put them in jail and keep them there. Like, if you have an illegal gun and you create a crime with an illegal weapon.
But what if he made a mistake?
You need to be 10 years guaranteed.
Okay.
10 years guaranteed. That will scare these criminals away, man. These criminals don't care about life, and they don't care about going to prison because they know they're going to be out in a certain amount of time, just like this piece of shit was. Mm-hmm. So they don't care. They're going to fucking rob you and your family at gunpoint and maybe kill you and not give a fuck. They don't care. It's unbelievable. It's the scariest thing going that we have to deal with.
I know.
Is these criminals like that, man. They're psychotic. And they need to stay in jail. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully this guy goes to jail for a long time, just like Johnny Gaudreau's killer.
Sean Higgins.
Sean Higgins is going to go to jail. I read that.
Did you watch the arrest video?
No.
He fucked up, man.
He's fucked up. He's going to be in prison for less. He's going to die in prison probably.
They're saying, I don't know. They're saying he could face
30 years?
20 years or something.
Said 30 years and then
I read
on
one
a couple
that
more.
said 20.
couple more. How old is he? 55?
I don't know.
So 30 years, you're probably going to die in jail. You know, like there's a lot going on, man. He left the scene. He did this.
Yeah,
he did
I
that.
know.
And you tag,
But-
you add all that on. He's going to die
I don't
in
know,
prison.
because a lot of these charges, they'll run concurrently or whatever, so.
He's probably going to die in prison. If he does, it's fine with me.
Well,
It's just,
yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
fine with me.
he's responsible for
Is
the,
he the
for
gangster?
the death of 2 people.
Of course, man.
He admitted on camera. You watch the thing. I mean, he had 5
Yeah.
or 6 beers,
Yeah.
and
Which is not a ton.
no, but
he
he
was driving
he
aggressive,
blew a .087. The
which is-
legal
is
limit is
0.8.
.08.
Yeah,
so
so
he
he
was
wasn't even-
just over.
He wasn't even
He didn't
drunk.
come across like he was wasted.
No, he wasn't wasted, but he fucked up, and you were aggressive, and you were a
I
mean
think
driver.
exactly like that road rage type.
What are you
shit.
doing?
Yeah.
And so we always talk about that. These 5 guys that fly
Damn,
100,
I had this guy.
like somebody does when tweeting out driving in fucking
Cam,
Sauget, Illinois.
I'm trying to get on the highway the other day.
Oh
and
God.
no big deal. I have got my right blinker on, and I'm just chilling, listening to holiday music. I got Jimmy Fallon's holiday music channel
You
on.
would listen to Jimmy Fallon. Lord. Jimmy Kimmel too. Andy's
No.
Jimmy Kimmel.
You don't
too.
like Jimmy Fallon?
No, they all suck. I
Okay.
like Conan. Conan's not bad.
I thought Jimmy
They're-
Fallon was kind of cool though.
Fucking nerd.
I don't know much about him. He just has a Christmas channel. There's like I like listening to the holiday music.
So
dude.
do I. I don't mind
And
that.
there's like 5 or 6 channels on Sirius XM, and I flip around. So I'm listening to the holiday music. Right blinker on. I'm just chilling.
Oh God.
And I'm waiting for this car to pass me so I can get over into that right lane.
Speed the story up a little bit because we got a lot to get into.
He's not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
And he just passes me like this with his
Ignore
middle
him. Just
finger
ignore him.
out.
Just
And then
ignore
he starts driving crazy through a bunch of
Get away
I'm
from
like,
him.
what is he doing?
Get away from him. Get away from
Why
him.
is he so angry?
Get away from. You never know. What if his fucking wife just left him? What if his daughter fucking banged 1,000 guys in one day on OnlyFans like fucking Lily Phillips? How do you know? How do you know what he's going through?
Make a lot of money.
Oh, she had herpes all over her face last time. She
Oh,
fucked 100
my
guys. Did
God.
you hear about that, dudes out there? That chick Lily Phillips. Look
I
this
hadn't
mug up.
heard that.
Look this mug up. This broad she banged 100 dudes in one day, and she's like afterwards she's like soaking wet, like ugh, and she's got like herpes on her fucking face. And then the next day, or whatever, now she wants to do 1,000 in 24 hours. Like, imagine you're her dad. No wonder he's got road rage with you, Andy. You probably were fucking looking at your Twitter when he needs to get to work to pay for this bullshit, and he passed you up because you were looking at your phone when the green light was going on. He's late for
There's
work.
no green light. I'm on the highway.
You know what I mean?
I'm just like waiting to get over, singing like, probably Little Drummer Boy or something like that. One of my
Probably.
favorite songs.
You know?
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, Holy Night.
Great one.
It's awesome. It's my favorite. Oh, Holy Night.
You ever been to church on Christmas Eve?
Yes, I have. I used to hang out with all the guys that are religious on my hockey teams, and they would take me to church because they're like, Cam, you kind of need it. I'm like, okay, I'll go. And it made me feel good. It made me feel
It's the best
so
way to
damn
get
good.
into the holiday spirit.
I loved it. And I'm not like a church dude by any stretch
Well,
of
let's go to
imagination.
midnight mass
Man,
this
Andy,
year.
I ain't going with you.
Come on,
God.
dude.
No,
Cam,
but-
why wouldn't you go?
You go to church?
On Christmas Eve, I'll probably
Temple?
go this year.
Or-
No.
I'm just saying. Did you go to both?
I,
Why can't I?
I know what
Wow,
you're doing. You're trying to
How-
get me like
what do you
in,
mean?
in hot water.
Why is that hot water?
You're just
It's your
trying
family.
to. I know. Oh God, dude!
Jeez.
Stop
Like,
that!
Whoa, I'm just
oh
saying.
my
Like,
God.
well, what's that all about?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'll go on
just-
Christmas
okay.
Eve. I haven't
Just
been like
asking.
in like 15 years.
No
or
big
anything,
deal.
But it's been several years. But I will go this year on Christmas Eve, midnight mass,
I'll do.
just to hear the music.
I'm not going to
You're-
midnight.
no,
no.
no, no,
I
come
ain't-
with
I ain't
me.
no, I'm not going midnight. I'm sleeping.
Well, when do you want to go?
I will go to church because that makes me feel
All right,
good.
let's go.
It does.
No,
I-
because they've got the bells and the shit.
I always just look at the priest or whatever. And I'm just like, hey man, I give him a hit the rock.
I
or
don't
something.
go
It
to
makes
the
me feel
Catholic
good.
ones. I like a Presbyterian church or something like that. And they got the
I don't
bells. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
I love it. It makes me feel good.
So-
Man. It does.
and
It
like they're
does.
wearing like the red and white like robes and
Can I
shit.
say something? Do I believe in God? Do I believe that Jesus rose from the grave? I don't know. Do I believe there was a Jesus that had a big following back in the day, 2,000 years?
Yes.
Yeah, goddamn right I do. But I live my life like there is a God. I live my life every day like there is a God.
No, you don't.
I live.
You are sinning left and right.
Yeah, and I feel bad about it. But I'm nice to people. I feel like if I'm mean to people or I'm rude or I rip people off, karma's going to get me.
Yeah.
God, somebody is watching me when I do fucking out in the town doing stupid things. Somebody's watching me. So I live my life like there is a God watching me. But do I believe in Jesus raising? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do believe in aliens too.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But I think that if there is a God, he's in control of the aliens. Why is God only in control of Earth? Why? He's in control of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't know if that's confusing to everybody else, but that's how I think. And am I perfect? Hell nah. Hell nah. Because if I was, I wouldn't cuss, drink, da-da-da-da. But I do all that stuff, but I still think that I got to do the right thing because there's a hierarchy
Maybe
looking down
because you're
upon me.
guilty internally.
Totally.
Because of all your...
So I feel guilty.
Yeah.
That's good. I
Yeah.
hope everybody feels guilty at
Mhm.
times.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you wouldn't shoot that fucking kid if you felt guilty.
Oh my
Maybe you
God.
wouldn't fucking do that or rob a store and
Do you
smack a
think
guy
he
around.
knows, with all the news going on, that that was his bullet that hit
I don't-
hit this
dude,
poor
he's
kid?
Probably, who knows what that psycho scum of the earth thinks, man. That ruins people. Like
Ruins people's lives,
ruin
dude,
people.
forever.
Look at his rap sheet. It's unbelievable. The shit that guy's done. It's unfucking
So why
believable.
can't they? And I think he was being... Wasn't he being monitored at the time? Like,
Why are they not in jail? Because because they have different. Like I'll give you an example. Like a Drake concert in St. Louis.
I took Chloe to it.
Cool. Drake concert in St. Louis. This fucking mutt
Runs them over.
runs these two. God, he got out of jail and
He did?
$20,000 bond. Oh really? Oh really? Oh, he had $20,000. Interesting. You look at the lawyer.
10%. You got to
You
pay
look,
that.
you look at the lawyer. You're like, we know the lawyer in fucking St. Louis. Ah, interesting. How'd that money get to the lawyer to be able to give him bond?
Mm-hmm.
How? Because they have all these little things that go down to build
Yeah.
money up to get these guys out.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. He got out after smashing these two this mom and her daughter. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. $20,000 bond. Oh, yeah, he had that money.
And they were
Sure.
in town just for the
I
concert.
know, from
The
Chicago.
mother brings the daughter to
So-
the concert. I actually took my daughter to the concert. She wanted to go. It was not that fun. I got to be honest with
Oh,
you.
people are talking about right now. Like, look, learn more about the documented gang member Count Up Boys charged with the tragic death of Colin Brown. Fucking scum. He was also in federal program made for gang members to try and rehabilitate him. Guess that didn't take. No shit. Look at that rap sheet of this psychopath.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how they get out. I don't know why they
I
get
just
out.
told you
I
how.
know.
I just told you.
But even I think he had like an electronic like
Ankle
anklet or
bracelet,
something.
and they'll take that off, and then no one
I
even
know.
comes in to arrest
Dude,
them.
they'll take it off live on like TikTok. And
Yeah, I
shit.
know, and film themselves. It's out of control. Get control of the situation. Get control of the city. My God Almighty. Can I give a shout out?
How do you get control of it though?
You put him in jail
And just
for a
don't let
long
him out?
time. Yes. Well, there's no room in jail. Don't give a fuck. I'd rather pay my taxes for fucking build up the jails and put these psychos in there. Put them in there. Gun crimes, 10 years, gone. See you later. I don't give a fuck how old you are. There's ways to do it. Go to Venezuela. Go to some of these countries that really fucking crack down on crime.
Put him
man.
in a Venezuelan prison.
Ooh, that ain't good, boy. That ain't good. Can I give a shout out?
Locked Up Abroad. You ever watch that?
Goddamn right. Scary.
Scary. Have you ever watched it like when you're home alone?
Did you ever see the movie? Did you ever see the movie with Claire Danes? It's called something Paradise.
Hmm.
And
Was it a hockey movie or?
no, Andy. So Claire Danes and this girl are hanging out, and they're like in like Eastern Europe or something. Like, yeah, we're having fun. Look at this handsome guy. We're gonna go meet him. Oh, they're in Southeast Asia
Hmm.
with those fucking hardcore fucking prisons. So these Paradise something. You guys will know what I'm talking about. Claire Danes and this girl. And they meet this guy, and he's like so handsome, and they're like talking. He buys her drinks. Like, where are you going? Oh, we're going to the Philippines. Oh, I'm going to go. I am too. Let's go together. He takes all this heroin, puts it in their bag. They get caught
Oh,
because he's a smuggler. He finds good-looking girls.
Is
He's
it a true
handsome.
story?
Yeah.
Hallmark.
I don't know if it's true.
Hallmark Channel or?
Andy, stop. And he puts all his heroin in their bag, and they get caught. And
Oh,
now they're stuck in this
I've
Philippine.
seen this.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's
you know
I've
what I'm talking
seen
about.
situations where
That
a
happens
kid gets paid $50,000
to try to
and
smuggle.
they duct tape it on themselves
No.
or something, and they try to smuggle it into like a country. They take a flight, and they get caught when
Yeah.
they get off, and they end up going into like
or they give it to they
prison.
plant it in other people's bags.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Damn.
So this guy planted this heroin in their bags, and they get caught going through whatever, and she's in this nasty prison, and no one believes them, and da. Like, there's shit like that happens, man. It's crazy. It truly is. But
Yeah, be
you know
careful.
who the hardcore gangsters are, and you got to put them in jail. It's the
Yeah.
bottom line.
Well, I hope the
Can I give a shout out?
the
Finally?
Goudreau family, getting back to that, hope they can have some enjoyment this time of year. And it's
They're not.
No, they're not.
Whether
And,
he goes to jail or not,
No,
it's just fucked.
but I will say I will give a shout out to the Calgary Flames for how they honored
They did a great job. We talked to Craig Connery up there, man. After
how they
that just
honored
went,
Johnny and Matthew.
they did a
and
damn good
with
job.
the family there and whatnot.
Dang good job, man. And everybody cried, and it's just sad. The whole thing's like he's gonna die in prison. So like, what else? If they gave him the electric shock right now, he died. The family's not gonna be any better at this point. You know what I mean? They're just not. So they're gonna have a rough ride coming up still, and it's tough. But I'm gonna give a shout out to Eureka High School. What's up? Love all y'all. Went to Eureka High School.
You didn't graduate from there.
Did not graduate from there. Not even close. But I did get suspended a lot too. But they had me out. We did a little thing for Life is a Blue with the Blues had me out there, and it was nice. Kate and I went. The whole school was completely different. Then we walk out, and they're filming me walk in. All the kids are right there, walking in because they're filming me, like, do all this little stuff. And there's kids coming up and saying, I listened to your podcast.
Really?
I go, how old are you? They're like 16. I'm like, okay, cool.
Dude, there's kids in, like, my kids' hockey team who, like, and they'll be like, I listened to the podcast.
Oh, no.
With their dads in the car.
I know.
I always apologize for you.
Oh, you have to.
Every time.
Always do that.
I'm like, don't listen to what Cam says.
No.
Yeah.
Cam bad.
Cam's bad.
Andy good. So, little shout out, Eureka High School looks beautiful, man. And
it does?
Yes. It's beautiful.
I remember what it was like on Eureka Week preparing for that running back when I was playing safety. And, you had to just meet him in the hole, Cam.
Yeah, you did.
You had
and they probably bulldozed you.
Put your shoulder down and just make the play.
They bulldozed you. Did you see Michkov the other day, man?
On Travis Konechny's shot?
Yeah, Michkov. I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's right at the goal line. Like, literally, the goal line's right there. And Konechny had a wide open that rips the puck. And Michkov's like, I got to get my stick on that.
You think he tried to deflect it?
Yes.
Like, it didn't just...
No.
The way I was reading it, people are like, oh, it just hit it. His stick was there. Just hit his stick. No.
No, he tried to deflect it to get the cookie.
He tried to get the goal.
He tried to get the cookie. And it deflected fucking right here and missed the whole net. I don't know if they lost the game or they won the game or whatever it was. But it is funny. I like Michkov, and he's a legit
Wouldn't
superstar.
You be pissed?
If I'm Konechny?
Yeah.
I'd laugh at it if I'm him. If it was me and I don't have many goals, yes, I'd be pissed.
But it depends if it's a kid, and I'm not even, just throw Michkov out of the equation. I'm just saying, if it's a kid that's like, selfish and, not respectful around the room and like thinks he's this or that.
Yeah.
That's different versus like everyone loves him and he's just an innocent kid.
He's one of the best players on the team. But like, if I did that to a guy, I don't know. Maybe they'd laugh at me. But if it was me trying to score a goal and I don't score in 5 years, like
Michkov tried to do the Michigan a few games ago.
I saw that,
and that was a hell of a save, man. See, I love it how goaltenders are now learning how to defend the play. It's a legit hockey play with the way these guys can do it. And it can allow them to create a grade A scoring chance from below the goal line and behind the net.
Yeah.
And that is the obligation, Cam, of the goaltender, to be able to read the play, no different than like a seam pass and going from your right to your left and being able to get ahead of it, track the puck, read the play, make the save. You got to track the puck when a guy like Michkov has the puck behind the net too.
Of course.
And make the save, and that's exactly what he did. So he made the save. I think Torts said he didn't like it or something like that afterwards. Or something.
No, he said I've lost his battle. He said, "Yeah, I don't think it's great for the game." Which I'm like, I love Torts, but I'm like, who cares? Like, if these guys are doing great, guys toe dragging back, Wayne Gretzky behind the net doing stuff. People are bitching about that, but now that's part of the skill. Now it is what it is. But Torts did admit, he goes, "I lost that battle." He could do that.
Yeah.
I lost that battle.
Okay.
So Torts is fucking awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I want him on this podcast so fucking bad. Truly do. He is so fucking cool.
He'll come on if I tell him it's a radio show.
Tell him it's a radio show, then, please. An hour-long radio show.
Every time I ask him, what is it, a radio show? It's a podcast. I don't do podcasts.
You know who I feel bad for a little bit?
Yeah.
And he needs to figure this out because it might turn out bad here soon.
Let me guess.
Who? Football player. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just a sign of a girl that you're with that might be negative going down.
You already see it, Travis Hunter. You already
you knew what
see what this is not a good situation.
Andy.
And
people are like, it's not that big of a deal.
Did you see his like live Instagram? He came out
to defend her, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad.
He's like, she's been with me for 5 years, and blah blah blah. This is my family. See, things happen so fast, Cam, where all of a sudden you just become so famous,
so
and you have so much money.
He's been in the spotlight for a while. Dude.
He has been, but it's still relatively new. He's young, Cam.
No. Even in high school, he dominated. He got attention in high school. He got attention in fucking middle school.
Sure, but this is different. This is next level. He just won the Heisman Trophy.
5 years, you know he's popular. Okay, he's been popular last year. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of attention. He's signing autographs. He just got the Heisman. You don't even stand up. Deion had to like lift you up.
Who didn't stand up? The wife?
The girlfriend. Yeah. You didn't watch that video? Like Deion's got to pick her up. Like, hey, stand up. You got to give him a hug. Like he just won one of the biggest trophies in the fucking world. And then he goes up there. He's just like taking pictures. She's like, "What am I supposed to do? Sit here all day?"
Oh my God.
Whoa.
That's a problem.
Red
flag. And he says he's getting married to her right after like he gets drafted,
got like a little
or something
money
like
sign
that.
on her thing. Like, interesting.
And so now he's got the entire world
get away from her
in his hands.
Get away from her now.
And
before you get her pregnant, before you get married, get away. Do it right. Do it nice. She's gonna freak out. Do it now.
I like what he said about his dad, though, in the speech.
I know, that's the thing. And even AB comes out on a tweet and said, "Stop talking about the girlfriend and let's talk about the dad crying and the speech and stuff." I get all that, but this is going to hinder him.
As long as Deion is there to help him.
Dude, he's going to be gone. What do you mean he's going to be there? What, Deion's going to be there with your girlfriend to give you advice?
No,
what are you talking about?
I'm just saying that mentorship.
It has nothing to do with anything.
That mentorship.
You need to be a man and look at this situation.
But you don't think Deion's telling him that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And he better.
What about Shedeur?
Shedeur? He's probably like, get the fuck away from her. She doesn't stand up for you. She's complaining that you're taking pictures after you get the Heisman Trophy.
Oh, there's Caitlin on Time Magazine, by the way.
She hates the attention. It's her privilege, white privilege.
I was working last night and traveling yesterday, so I didn't see the ceremony on Saturday. When I was out of town. I got to see her not standing up.
It's just all over Twitter. I don't know. No big deal. I'm just letting you know, like, if a girl is not appreciative of what you're doing, you got a problem. If you're a hockey player and she doesn't like watching you play, she doesn't want the attention, that's not going to go good, man. I'm sorry.
But Cam, people aren't even talking about this, though. It's like, besides the fact that, I mean, she's obviously too immature to be able to handle the spotlight.
How old is she? 22?
I'm just saying.
23?
She's too immature, selfish.
Well, yeah, then get away from her now. Go live your life, man. You're on top of the world.
She's not going to, she's
not going to change.
You want people around you that are going to help you enhance your career.
Yes.
He hadn't done shit yet. I mean, he has.
He's made money. He's a professional athlete.
No, but he's made money. He won the Heisman. But when I say that, I mean he hasn't even entered his professional career.
No, he's not even an NFL
which is
player
how
yet.
He's going to be,
You guys, man, like some girls, like, you just got to know when to get rid of them. And some girls, there's guys that are dating you, and they have red flags like you can't believe it. It goes both ways.
Am I supposed to just sit here all day?
Yeah, man. That's.
I want to get her on the podcast.
Kate did that, I'd be like, what? I just won an award, and I'm taking pictures. Kate's
My wife would be like, here, let me take the picture. Give me your phone.
No, here. No, it didn't work. Kate would be like, here, Cam, open your eyes this time. Like, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. It ain't that big of a deal, but I'm just saying, like, we've seen this a million times over with girls and actually with guys, too, that are bad to girls. Like, you're like, what are you doing with this fucking guy, man? He treats you like shit. He doesn't appreciate you. It goes both ways. But in this situation, like, you just see it like, when am I supposed to do? He's like living his moment. That's his moment right then. Anyway.
I love Travis Hunter's mom, too.
Yeah. I
love Deion, too.
Can I give a shout out to another one? To a guy that we love, that I played with, and his daddy died.
Oh, it's Carlo.
Carlo Coivacovo. I love you, dude. I love you. I love you to death, man. You be tough. I'm going to call you later.
Yeah.
I know how it is, man. And I saw it right before we got in here that your daddy died, and I love you, man.
You know, Cam
sorry
told me
about
that
that.
this morning when I walked in, and Carlo, man, we are
love
thinking
you,
about
buddy.
you and
God damn
Marco and Paulo and everybody,
I
man.
know. I know.
And obviously your entire family. So I've met his dad, dude.
Oh,
He
yeah,
came
yeah.
into town. I mean, real OG Italians, dude. They
Oh,
are
God,
the salt of the earth,
sweet
people and family.
God damn it.
And I hate hearing about that.
I hate it. We love you, buddy. We love you, man. Stay strong. Stay strong for your mama and your family. And, you know, and especially right before the holidays, dude. So it's going to be tough on you guys. It's going to be a long road ahead. But we're all here for you. You know how it is, man. You want to call me anytime, dude. You know how it is. Thinking about my fucking dad every goddamn second of the day, too. Although he's been better. He's been staying up, even on those like Vancouver swings and stuff I've been on. Like he's texting me afterwards, so he's got a lot more energy. But it all comes to an end eventually, and it's tough, and you just gotta be prepared for it. So,
not to go from that to back to Travis Hunter, but I just watched the replay.
good.
I mean, she was like happy that she just didn't know, dude. She just, you got to understand where these people come from and where they're at, and like they just don't.
Tell
sometimes,
me, do you understand where they come from?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay,
I do. And so she was like smiling, she's happy, she's clapping. She just didn't know to stand up, so he was like, "Here, stand up." So she stands up. These are kids, dude.
They're 22 years old.
I'm just saying.
We're talking about kids.
I'm just saying, like,
I get that
because
part.
she didn't stand up.
I'm not
does
saying
not
that
mean
part.
That she
I'm saying about
wasn't-
her bitching about taking
That's
pictures with people.
different.
Well, that's what I'm talking
But
about.
you brought up her not standing up,
That's
and
still-
Dion had to tell her and whatever.
He did.
She just,
He did.
dude. They're like on national TV at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, man. Like,
Be excited about it. I'm just saying.
but I think she was.
Okay, so, okay, fine. But like you're complaining in front of everybody on camera.
She didn't know she's on camera for that.
How can
and
you
that's
not-
why he came out and said that's a private matter. Like that should
Private
not
matter.
Be
Everybody's
exposed.
filming you. What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't believe it.
But you know what?
I don't believe it. I would say if I had a bet
Mhm.
that she's bad news bears, I would say she probably is.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to defend her.
Then when you are.
But I will say, her not knowing cameras around probably shows her true colors because she's not putting on an act. I mean, that's who she is.
No. She knew the cameras are on, and she's embarrassed that he's getting attention, and she's not. And so in front of the cameras, she's saying, "What am I supposed to do? Sit here all day?" No, she knew the cameras on.
After he's having his moment.
He's having his moment. That's what I'm saying. It's bad news.
If I was
bears.
his mom, what do you think she's saying?
She's like, what the fuck
Get
are you doing?
rid of her ass.
No doubt. You need to protect him. If I'm his mom, I'd protect him. Get away from all girls right now.
Exactly.
Focus. Wait on the girl situation.
We've
get
seen
anybody you want.
We've seen viral videos in the past of big time players get drafted and like kind of players kind of like, mom and girlfriend fighting over the guy and
How about the one? Remember the one where like
CeeDee Lamb?
The girlfriend like takes his phone. He goes, "Give me that
Yes,
fucking
exactly.
phone." Bad news bears. And like, Cam, what are you talking about? That doesn't happen. Look at how many divorces happen. Are you kidding me? Look at all these divorces that happen. Because you rush into it. You're a kid and you're going to marry this girl. She can't even respect you when you're at your highest moment. That is a red flag. And if you disagree with me, fine. But statistics will say when that shit happens, man, you're going to be jammed up and you're going to give her a lot of coin.
Statistics.
Look at the statistics. So many guys get fucking divorced, man, because they marry so quick.
Are you having trouble? Are you having trouble saying statistics?
Statistics? I have a shoe in my mouth.
Okay. All right. Before we get to the live reads, I brought you a present. Yeah, open up your present. And we got some stuff for you.
Meow.
Now, this is from a store, and it's called Globe Drug. I don't know what's in it.
You got me Adderall?
I don't know what's in there. Just for the record, and that is the honest to God truth. You can buy these at Globe Drug if you live here in St. Louis.
He got something for free, and Andy's so fucking cheap.
That whole thing's under $5.
I've never seen Andy eat food. I've never seen Andy get his credit card out for anything. Only checks to give me because we work together. So this is probably something that somebody.
It's under $5.
Meow.
That's so. Under $5 at Globe Drug, 1900.
You got
South
this from
Brother.
Martin Kill. Wait a
What?
minute. Wait a minute.
What?
I saw a clip of you last night.
Yeah.
No.
I brought him one, and I got you one.
You used this last night.
Not the same
You
thing.
wrapped this back.
No. I don't have.
Andy went on Channel 2 last night. My dad's texting me. I'm sound to fucking sleep because I had a fucking shit goddamn all over the place. And Andy's like, yeah, he put a bunch of Christmas decorations up with Martin. And I look at the video, and it's the same goddamn.
That was his head silver, like stuff all over.
You rewrapped a gift. You rewrapped a gift.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
What the fuck is this?
No,
Why would you? What the fuck is this?
What is that?
What the,
I don't know what's going to be in there.
Boob tape? What the fuck is this?
Maddie.
What am I going to do with this goddamn thing?
Ty wants that. Can he have that?
See, what the fuck am I doing?
It's a hockey stick toothbrush. Anaheim Ducks.
Cool. What a god-awful gift. You had this.
Oh, my God.
Man, damn it.
These are great for white elephant parties and everything. Okay?
No Trumps a game? You would. Andy's family wrapped this up for me. The fuck is this?
What else is in there?
Bottoms up beer mats? Come on. You recycle everything.
No,
God
I
damn
don't.
it.
What else you got?
A goddamn jockstrap. Man, God damn it.
Hey.
I don't want that.
Okay. Well, dude, you don't know what's going to be in there.
Stupid ass fucking things.
Put those on, dude.
Damn it.
Oh, shit. Oh.
What the fuck?
Dude, so these are cool, man. They're great for white elephant parties, office parties.
No one, what am I going to do with this?
What does it say on it?
Fart alarm?
Oh, man. The Cam and Strick podcast brought to you by First Forum.
Christ.
Check out firstforum.com/Cam and Strick. Again, they're having a contest right now for all the, whoever gets more people to sign up, new members to sign up and place orders. It's not even a sign up. You just new people that sign up. Using our link, Cam and I win a prize. So everyone, hook us up, man. Sign up and hook yourself up. Change your lifestyle.
I can fit in this goddamn thing? You guys got to look on YouTube how ridiculous this president. Is this what you're giving me? Because I legitimately
got
you a
something else for you.
So, I saw you last night. You did all this last night. You rewrapped it and then gave it to me.
Martin kept his.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, you rewrapped
it. He kept his one.
You rewrapped it.
See, for example.
Pom-poms. What am I doing?
For example, he had.
You said drugs.
For example, I had a picture. He got some of this stuff. It was all new stuff, different things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You said drugs.
Globe Drug. That's the name of the store.
Well, where are they at?
1900 South Broadway.
Where are they at?
85 years, Cam. You'd love this place, dude. They have everything.
That's what they're selling?
They have everything.
I don't like it.
Well, those are just for the Christmas season where they have.
It's nothing to do with Christmas.
Wait. No, white elephant and holiday
Andy,
office parties.
Nothing that you gave me has anything to do with Christmas.
Yeah, it does.
Nothing.
Lights,
and you want something back for Ty.
The lights.
What are we doing?
Oh, you can have this one.
No, I don't want it.
You can have that one.
Good God. Drug company. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Now it's fucking pom-poms.
Firstforum.com/Cam and Strick. Change your life this holiday season. Get your life back on track. I've been doing that multi-factor, Cam. I am peeing out neon yellow highlighter yellow.
Get it out of you, baby.
It's getting out.
Yep.
But I feel great.
Yeah.
I mean, with all my travel and everything that I've been doing, just sacrificing.
Feel sorry
and the fact that I had that energy to get through yesterday, I would not have had that without multi-factor.
It's good stuff, man.
And the energy drinks and the protein sticks.
Right yonder.
I've been eating the protein sticks.
So why? So I'm going to crush a couple of
You got an extra one, cheddar?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. Illinois Recovery Center, Cam.
Swansea, Illinois, right there, baby. Love you, Jacob. Love you, Eric. Love you, Chrissy Pondoff. You guys are awesome. You're helping people, especially through the hard times leading into Christmas and the holidays, man. You guys are doing damn good work. And I'm going to go back out there in January, say hey to everybody.
Yeoman's work.
You do damn good work. We love you. It's in Swansea, Illinois. Illinois Recovery Center. Look them up online. Call me. Text me. Message me. I have all my messages open. If you need any help, just text me. I have people text me all the goddamn time. Christy sent me another thing about a guy giving us some praise and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, so it's all good. We don't want to get too far into it because we have, but it's good.
Okay.
They do a damn good work. Get in there now and help yourself, and your family's going to look at you like you're you again.
Yeah, which is what we want.
That's what you want.
I'm gonna have you. You're on a roll here right now, Cam. Blue Note Roofing.
Oh man, I need to talk to him.
David Novak.
I need to talk to him.
314-920-5713.
Get that roof done, baby.
What do you need to talk to him about?
Well, I just want a couple things.
Okay.
See if he can come
roof.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple things
it's
I want.
roofing related, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because they do soffit and fascia too.
Fascia. No, they do it all, man. That's
And
David Novak.
gutters,
Gutters, all that shit,
winders.
man. Winders, get it all done. Listen, in the wintertime, when your winders are fucked up, you feel that fucking leak
all
coming
that
in.
cold coming in.
Then your heat
your
bills,
heating
God,
bill,
awful. So,
oh my God,
man.
through the roof.
Yeah.
So save yourself some money, dude.
Yep.
Hook yourself up. Call David Novak too, and he'll talk pucks with you too. He loves hockey. He's the absolute best, man. 314-920-5713. Look for that big yellow truck with blue notes all over it. Can't miss it. Hat Launch and hatlaunch.com.
Yeah, baby.
Everybody, man. Danny and Boyd and everybody over there.
They're great people.
Jordan.
And if you have a softball team to your kid's baseball team, your kid's hockey team, your gymnastics, the blah, 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 blah. You own a store, you want hats, you want shirts, they will take care of you. They're right here in Missouri and Illinois. They'll take care of you. They're the best in the
matter
business.
where you are, though, in the world.
Doesn't matter.
They're like the number one source for customized hats in the world, man. First Form uses them. A lot of people use them. I've had more and more people tell me, yeah, I had them make my hats for my company.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for merch and all that, man, you guys should hook yourself up, man. Hat Launch, they do the absolute best quality too. Sparks Hockey Cam.
God dang right. You don't want your kid to like blow tires in tournaments, even if he's unbelievable. He could be Quinn Hughes, and his skates are all fucked up. He's gonna look like Andy out there, and you don't want that. Andy was this close to making the show, but he didn't get past high school.
I just played one game.
Because your skates weren't sharp. If only he had a Sparks. If only Andy had a Sparks, he would have played that one NHL game. And God, he would have been. He's here. He would have been way there.
So true.
One.
Yeah.
If your skates weren't so dull.
I know.
Because you would have dangled everybody. Power forward. I know.
Sparks Hockey, man.
So,
get yourself a Sparks. Do it today. Get your skates sharpened and do it in style, man. And don't ruin your weekend or your tournament. Every NHL team, pretty much, I think like 28, 30 teams in the league, Cam, are using Sparks. If you go on the road, when you see that in the hallway where the equipment stuff's set up, dude, you see the Sparks.
It's easy. Yoink.
Yeah.
That's
Revolutionize the sport.
Yeah. And then if not, you have Seth do it.
Oh, my God.
And who knows what else he's doing.
What's he getting for Christmas?
Animal bones that he collected throughout the subdivision.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And people's women's underwear.
Oh, my God.
Just telling you.
None of that.
Your wife's like, my underwear's missing.
Was Seth over recently?
Did we have like the neighbors over?
Was Seth around?
My wife's underwear.
Check the video cameras.
In the dirty hamper. Weirdo.
Hey,
fuck.
How about Joe Burrow getting outed by, his house got burglarized?
Oh, Jesus.
And then some
Christ.
like model was the one who went over there and like called the police.
Yeah.
It's like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
She called her mom first. What do I do? And then she called the police, and like he has a girlfriend too. It's like, oh my God. So he's fucking pissed, man. Is that not an amazing story though?
It's just you hey, listen, when you juggle things like that, all y'all out there, man, you think you're fucking.
She's the first one to call the police.
Hey, listen, like
I'm
no saint.
The side piece.
I'm no saint. But if you're juggling a couple chicks at a time, they're gonna find out. Just so you know, all you guys that are married with fucking kids and you're fucking swinging your dick around, like you think, oh, she's not gonna know. It just happens, man.
You mentioned dangling, with Sparks, dude, but that's where you get the dangles, man, from Bolt Sports.
Yeah,
Sam and Benoit, everybody over there. Francois.
Jesus, Andy.
Francois. But Sammy boy.
Yeah.
Dude, this shit is unbelievable. I had more parents coming up to me and sending me. And this is honest to God truth, sending me more direct messages because I keep putting it up on my Instagram stories. And people are like, where'd you get those? What are those, man? And you can find them at Pure Hockey, but you should get them directly from Bolt Sports because you can use our promo code Cam and Strick. And
save you some kind.
Save you some coin. And if you bundle them together, because you can get the snipes, which are those targets that you can put on a regulation size net.
Yeah.
Dude, you can just pound like 100 mile per hour pucks, real pucks at it, and it won't even damage.
Oh, the black ones?
Yeah. Well, sometimes the kids use the blue ones,
the blue
or like
ones.
You can use green biscuits and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay,
like
that was a stupid chirp.
Yeah,
that was a dumb chirp.
I'm talking like you can use real pucks and it won't even damage it.
Got you. I got you on that.
You know what I mean?
And the biscuit pucks are great too, by the way. If you're sticking on a driveway and stuff like that.
So dude, it's like a legit training mechanism.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And you can download the app, and then all the kids can like play against each other when they're at home.
Compete.
Be like, hey, what was your score? What's my score? It's cool as shit, man. My kid absolutely loves it. So get that today, man. Bolt Sports, love having them on board. We're going to do a lot of good stuff with them moving forward here, man, into 2025. So Sammy and the boys over there with Bolt Sports, man, we love those guys.
I think I got this coolie cup from Andy. I don't have 50,000 of these at my house. God.
What does that one say? Koozie.
My advice to you is start drinking heavily. Stupid ass thing.
Oh, man. Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swinging dicks, none of that bullshit. Troy, Missouri. God dang right. There's tornadoes today, but there might be snow tomorrow.
Oh, we don't know about that.
I do know about that. There's tornado warnings in the middle.
Who said that?
I did.
Who said?
There's tornado warnings today, but it could be ice tomorrow. It could be snow tomorrow.
Oh.
Missouri's fucked up. Go get a goddamn truck. Go get one of them Buicks. They got 4-wheel drive.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or all-wheel drive or
Dude,
whatever.
Get a GMC.
Get them JMC. Get a Dodge. I don't give a damn.
Get a Denali, dude.
You got Troy, Missouri. They got all kinds of different vehicles. They're awesome people over there. There are no swinging dicks coming out there bragging about their high school days like Andy would do. None of that shit. Good people at Bellman.
And Dodge has those new trucks out right now. The new model, the new line of trucks for 2025.
All those new trucks
ridiculous.
are badass looking, dude. You kidding? God dang.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on one side of the street, Buick GMC on the other side. And the best part is, man, you support a great family, great people.
Cool people, man.
Who've been in the car industry for a long time here in St. Louis. And they support hockey.
They've been supporting us since literally day one. I remember the meeting we had in Chesterfield with Danny Boy, big old Danny Boy. Yeah. What's up, Danny? Yeah. And they're still with us, man, from day one. We love you guys. Yeah. So
the absolute best. So check that out. Bench clears, man. Again, get these tanks. You can get hoodies. You can get the windbreakers. You can get the Sherpa blankets. I slept with my blanket last night. Loved it.
Did you just burp? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It's my coffee, I think.
Jesus. And he hasn't eaten anything in like 48 hours.
No, I haven't. John Hynes, man.
Right here, baby. Johnny Boy.
One of the best teams in the league, the Minnesota Wild, man.
Pretty cool to get a guest on like that.
We got lots of good stuff to talk to, and he's got a great story, too, in terms of how he went from being a shit kicker at Boston University to being a great head coach now.
Damn right.
In the NHL. Part of USA Hockey, too.
Yeah, we love
the upcoming Four Nations.
USA, baby.
Lots to get into.
Let's go.
John Hynes, man, enjoy this interview here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. What's going on, man? Everything good?
All good. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this. Yeah. Is today an off day? It just worked out perfectly or what?
Yeah, it worked out great. Yeah, we played last night, and then we don't play till Wednesday, so today's off, practice tomorrow, and then teed up again on Wednesday.
Has your schedule been crazy like a lot of other teams, just in terms of like with the Four Nations and the condensed schedule and everything, and just traveling like crazy?
Yeah, we had a ton. We even traveled. We had we started the year, I think, on a 13-day road trip. We played 2 home games, then we were on the road for 12. So it's been we're home almost the whole month of March, but I'd say now usually like Christmas break, and then from now right through to through the Four Nations, it get condensed before and after it. So
yeah,
everybody's going through that. We just hit record.
We just hit record and we just have conversation. So are you at the rink right now, or are you at home?
No, I'm in the office.
What are you doing? Like when it's an off day, you go into the office. Like, how do you like to be alone? Is your whole staff in there? Are you guys talking? Are you watching video? What are you doing on an off day?
No, I like to be alone. Like, I'm a big believer that I think the guys need a day off. Sometimes I come in, sometimes I don't. Like, an off day for us usually isn't off in the sense you're still going to do video. You got to break last night's game down. You're still going to be prepared tomorrow when the players come in. Usually what I'll do is if it's a designated day off, I give everybody their space, kind of have guys do assignments, and then we'll meet a little bit earlier tomorrow morning just to kind of reconvene and everything. So we're organized when the players come in, but I think guys need to get time away, whether it's spend time with their families or they don't have to come to the office. I think everyone comes back refreshed. So guys can work whatever they need to do, they can do. I don't really care as long as they get the work done.
Sometimes when you say, well, it should be an off day, but we're going to give it an optional practice. Then some of the guys are like, man, my body's beat up, but I feel like I need to go in so I don't get shit on by either the coaches or maybe some of my other teammates.
Yeah, for sure. And I tell the guys even, so today's a full off day. So the players would have, if they need treatments, they do that separately with the trainers. But even for them, like some guys need the treatment. Some guys do their own treatments on an off day. So I try to make sure if it's an off day, it's on the schedule. I always keep it that way. so guys can plan whatever. They got something with their family or they got doctor's appointments or whatever. I never take it away from anyone, the players or the staff. But like you said, even if you have an optional skate, I do address the team a lot and say that you don't, it's not, if it's an optional, it means an optional. You got to do what's right, for you. There's no judgment zone in that. And I think guys appreciate that, but I do believe it. I think if you have an optional, usually it's for a reason. And usually, guys do what they need to do to get ready for the game.
So now they have their CBA days, right?
Yeah.
Where they get a certain amount of days off per month.
Two.
Do you like those, or does that get in the way sometimes when you're like, no, man, I wish I could bring these guys to the rink today and have them skate and have a meeting or whatever?
Sometimes, but you know what? Usually you have to hand them in like a month before the schedule comes out. So you kind of go through it all and you're like, all right, usually like today would be a day off no matter what. So we use it as one of those 4 NHL days because it's the day after a back-to-back. So we would never skate anyways. So usually you get 2 or 3 of those anyways in a month. And then you slide another one in. But to be honest with you, there's way more days off that we give them anyways than the 4 NHLPA days. Yeah. So it's not really a factor.
Well, Minnesota has, I remember seeing this, and this was like maybe 5 years ago, that Minnesota had the longest travel of any team. Now, I don't know, Seattle was in the mix at the time, but like they had the longest travel. And you look at a team like the Devils, and it was like half of that. I mean, it's crazy, the difference.
Yeah, it's nuts. Actually, I was in Jersey, before I went to Nashville, and the Easterns, particularly New Jersey, but I would say even the Eastern Conference is a little bit easier within the divisions to be able to travel. Like in Jersey, you're, bus trip to New York, bus trip to Philly, you're in and out of Boston, Montreal. I mean, wherever Island. You go, it's easy. Yeah, so you're home in your bed, most nights after a game by 12:30, 1 o'clock, which is great. We're here, and in the Western Conference, even in Nashville, a lot of times you got to stay in the city that you played in because the time changes, the travels are longer. So it is a little bit more demanding. It's just a different dynamic.
Yeah. So what do you prefer? Like, how do you have the final say, or is that like you and Billy G talking? Like when you decide when you're going to leave after a game, are you going to stay the night or are you going to leave the next day? I remember Joel Quenneville when he was the coach, he always liked to stay the night after a game. And we're seeing that more this year, I think, at least here in St. Louis. Teams are staying the night versus getting home at like 5 a.m.,
Yeah, we usually, once the schedule comes out in the summer, I'll sit with our strength coach, Billy, and our travel coordinator. We'll kind of go through the schedule and get input from our strength coaches about what they feel is right. And then normally it gets into a routine. It is better a lot of times, to be honest, if you can stay overnight in the city you're in. Like if you're going to get back 2:30 in the morning, that's fine, because sometimes guys don't really sleep anyways till then. But I think if you get into the 3, 4, 5 o'clock, by the time you land and then you get home, now you're kind of wide awake. And the other thing to consider too is that even if you stay in the city you played in, guys might not go to bed till 2:30. But if you have say like a 9 o'clock, 9:30 or a 10 o'clock bus, guys are still going to get more sleep than they would at home. And a lot of times if you're coming off the road, like we have a veteran team, so we got a lot of guys that have kids and families. So all of a sudden they get home, they roll in at 5, and then they almost feel guilty because they've been on the road. So then they're up at 7:30 with the kids. Kind of the whole day's a wash. Yeah. So it usually winds up, the better play is if it's going to be after 2:30 in the morning, is usually to stay in the city you're playing in.
How's the weather out there today?
Yeah.
I mean, are you able to walk outside?
It's cold, boys. It's cold, man. You got to have a toque, gloves, and a major winter jacket.
Major winter jacket, like one of those like $3,500 winter jackets.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Can of the Goose, you mean? But
yeah. Everybody's got that.
You got to ask one for Christmas or something, man.
Well, shit.
You better have one out there.
But even like the de-icing, you know what I mean? Like everybody knows that you're flying private and all that, but like sometimes you sit on that damn tarmac and you're like, oh, we got to wait for this, and then all of a sudden you pull up and you got to have the de-icing going on. That takes a long time. Like there's a lot more to it when you live up north and you're traveling up north a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Because you get, you might say, all right, it's a 2.5 hour flight, but you got to let's say you're going from Minnie to Winnipeg or Winnipeg back to here. It might be a 2-hour flight, but as you said, it might turn into 4. because it's an hour to get off, and then by the time you de-ice, a lot of times the de-icing takes a long time, so it does get it. Even for us, if we're leaving, we might say, all right, we got a 2:00 flight, but we might not leave till 3 if they got a de-ice leaving it. So that is a factor in the winter months for sure.
Hey, who's your? How'd you get into coaching? Like, who pushed you in that direction? Because it's interesting, man. Even looking at your BU roster, like how many guys are working in either management or coaching? You got Pandolfo, obviously. We've had him on. Chris Dury, who's obviously a manager. Pat Kelleher is working with USA Hockey. Yeah, got guys all over the place, man. When'd you know that coaching was in your blood?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I knew before I went to BU, like other than probably my parents, my mom and dad, probably some of the most influential people that I had respect for growing up were my coaches. I had an unbelievable high school coach, Mike Gaffney, who he made a big impact on me. Like he was a teacher and a coach. And so when I went to BU, I felt like, you know what? Eventually when hockey's done, I wouldn't mind getting into teaching and coaching. So I get into the School of Education at BU. And then when I got there, I was around great coaches, obviously Jack Parker and, Mike Boyle, the strength coach, among other, the assistant coaches. And it continued kind of to grow myself, where I was like, all right, eventually when hockey's done, I was a good player, but I probably wasn't a player that was going to play in the NHL. So I knew I was at a high level college program, but I was also influenced again by really good coaches, good people. That kind of fueled my passion for it. And then, like you said, I was around a lot of guys, Mike Greer, Chris Drury, Jay Pandolfo, Chris Kelleher, Jeff Kelty. You look at a lot of the guys that I played with at BU, they're all in coaching or management or scouting at some level. So it was kind of a great dynamic at BU. And then I was lucky, right after I got done playing at BU, there was a graduate assistant position opened at BU, and I was there for a year. And then I wound up going from there to the national program with like Jeff Jackson and guys like that, which was awesome. I was just in environments probably from high school to college. And then after, I was fortunate to be around good people, good coaches that kind of continue to fuel my passion to coach and teach.
So you've been around so many coaches. Like, what is a good coach? Like, what does that mean?
I think it's I kind of use the word holistic in a sense that I think that there's so much that goes into coaching. I think your ability to communicate and get your message across, your ability to teach and make sure that there's no gray areas is really important. I think the communication with the players, the more and more you get into it, you do realize, and everyone says it, but it's a true factor. Like I kind of use someone told me when I get into coaching, if you want the performance to get better, improve the relationship, whether that's with a player or whether that's with the team. A lot of times you kind of divert to the X's and O's all the time, and maybe something's not working. You got to find, the X's and O's are being taught, but why isn't it getting executed at a right level? It's about really trying to improve the relationship, whether that's you individually with particular players or in general, I think as the head coach with the team. And then I think it's the other part too is getting the buy-in of, I think, the whole translation of how you practice, how you can present, how you at the NHL level for sure is how you can run the bench. You play players at the right time. You get a feel for the game. I think that's another big component of coaching. So I think when you kind of combine all those, it is a holistic approach that you can't. I think if you're just good at one, the others eventually are going to fall off a little bit. I think you got to be able to manage all of those components as a coach regularly.
Good question, Cam. That was a good question.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, that was a good question.
I'm just asking.
I want to know what a bad coach is, too.
Well,
because you know what? Hey,
what's
listen,
a bad coach?
You hit the nail on the head. Like, when you're going head-to-head against another coach, like where you're just owning them in terms of the matchups, like you're like, damn, okay, he's going to give me this one again. Like, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get it. Like, I would say in the NHL, a lot of times that's harder. I mean, there's a lot of guys that, they're good bench coaches. They're tricky, like they use the timeouts. They can get matchups. If they don't like a matchup, they can get away from it. They might switch some lines. When I first got into the NHL, that was something with people that you talked about. Okay, what are the things that you need to have when you come in? And one of the priorities that if I talk to 5 people, I'd say 4 out of the 5 said your ability to coach in game, whether it's run the bench, motivate the team, see who's going, see who's not going, what you say, how you act, all those things are really important. And I do find the more you're in it, I think the players, particularly I would say top players of understanding what their rhythms are to get them to play the best. But I think on the other side of that too is also realizing you can't lose guys on the bench. Maybe comes out of timeouts or penalty kills, power plays. You may have a guy that hasn't played for 4 or 5 minutes, but you got to try to. It's managing all of them, and I think that's a big part of it.
Are you a guy that addresses mistakes right when they come back to the bench? Do you wait till the next day? Do you wait between periods? Are you like, what the fuck are you doing there? Why didn't you get that puck deep? like how do you handle that situation? Are you emotional on the bench?
I used to be, but no, not as much. I think the best. I think what you find too is it's. I'm gonna go off on a tangent on it a little bit. I think
you're good. I
think the on the bench coaching is important because I think if guys know every time they come back to the bench and they make a mistake and they're gonna hear it, I don't think they play with. I think it takes away from. Then they're playing the game not to get yelled at, or if they're afraid to make a mistake. A lot of times, what I try to do now is I might be pissed about something, but I'll just say, go to an assistant coach. Can you address that with him? And I talk to them as well too to say not right when he comes back. If he's out of breath or he knows he did it, just Or sometimes you got to pick a guy up. It's a blatant mistake. He knows he did it. But sometimes you might have to go back and say, listen, that's a mistake. You got to keep going. I think it's the same with video. I think if it's always, I think you want your players to come into the room not thinking like, okay, it's going to be all mistakes, or am I going to be on the video today? I think if you can try to do more, if something's going to really affect the collective group, I think you need to show it. But if it's repetitive mistakes or something that's maybe a little bit embarrassing, I do think you want to do that in a smaller group or with one person. But I think they got to play the game. They can't feel like when they come back to the bench, I think they're going to get hammered all the time. I think it's the same thing with video. Those two components, if you're on them all the time, right away, I think sometimes they get a little shell-shocked, and I don't think that's the right recipe to get the best out of the group.
There's so many video sessions that guys are just like, sometimes they get checked out. Do you have to get creative sometimes with the video, meaning like, you're telling people what to do, but then maybe at the end you're like, I'm going to show a clip of, toe picking and falling into the boards, and everybody laughs afterwards or whatever. Find something funny and clever just to kind of, make the guys laugh, mix it up a little bit.
Lighten up the mood.
Yeah, big time. We do that. We do that a lot, whether it's like, if you're breaking down the game and you see, a blooper, a guy trips over the line, or we run into each other, or whatever it might be, like we had one where it was, Zuccarello came around behind the net, and the ref was coming through, and he kind of clipped the ref, and the ref fell over, and and then we kind of showed like, all right, and then we showed Zook doing that, and then we just said the Hanson brothers, and the guys didn't know what it was, and then we showed the clip of the Hanson brothers doing it, and guys were dying, they were dying laughing. So we tried to know. Some guys don't know. The younger guys don't know.
They don't.
Yeah.
With his long stick, are you ever like, why is your stick so long? Or you just let him go?
He's got the long one, but it works for him, man. I don't know.
I know.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I always hear from like players that like, and listen, I would think that it's human nature not to like if Marcus Foligno makes a mistake or Kaprizov makes a mistake, maybe you're coaching them a little bit different when they come back to the bench versus a rookie or like a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, or somebody that's just getting called up or whatever. But like, do you have to try to like mentally? I got to coach everybody the same. You don't want to show anybody up. You don't want to like just treat the veteran guys differently than the young guys, or is it just human nature? That's just the way it goes.
No, I think that's a great point. I think it's important that you treat everyone fairly, but not equally.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's, Kirill's obviously going to have a longer leash to do things, than say a younger guy, because Kirill's at a level where if he tries 3 plays that you don't really like, or maybe aren't the right time and place, he might click on 2 of them and not on 1. But he's a creative, dynamic, elite player in the NHL. So the leash is a little bit longer, but treated fairly is in the way that he works and the way that he competes. Is he doing the right things for the team? It'd be no different than a younger guy or a guy that plays less minutes. But I do think in today's day and age, if you treat the players the right way, like I don't think you can not ever correct Kirill or Foligno, and then you're all over, the younger guys. Or in the video, Kirill does nothing wrong, but then it's all these guys doing it wrong all the time. I think it's important that, you want to communicate with the top players too and say, listen, there's times we have to show for the collective of the team that things need to be done. And if you guys can be on the video, then anybody can be on the video, but it's not yelling and screaming at them. And I think the guys here really accept that. So I think the more you can treat them fairly, where no one feels like they're getting exposed or they're getting picked on, but everybody's kind of equal in the way that they're treated and the way that they're coached, I think is really important in today's day and age, particularly with younger guys. I don't think you can just yell and scream at younger guys anymore. It's got to be, here's why, this is what we need to see. Do you clearly understand it? These are the expectations. I think if you're yelling and screaming all the time now, you get tuned out too quick.
Oh yeah, you do. So and so when you first got to Minnesota, what was the first thing you tweaked? Because you can't just overwhelm the guys and be like, this is what you need to do, boom, boom, boom. Like, so what was the first thing that you kind of tweaked at the beginning of head coach from Minnesota?
Yeah, I think the one thing coming in season, probably first and foremost, I've done it twice now, one in Nashville and then one in Minnesota, that obviously when you're coming in season, something hasn't gone right. It doesn't necessarily mean it was all on the coach that you just replaced. But obviously the team dynamic's not in a great place. And usually when the team doesn't do well, the confidence level of the individual players and the confidence level of the team isn't high. So that's number one, is try to get in, understand what's going on, create some relationships with the players, ease into it a little bit as far as the total demand. You're not coming in and saying, okay, it's my way, this is what we're going to do. I think you respect the guy that was there before you and the coaches. You respect what's going on prior to that. And then the next part for us is it was more our play with the puck. The big thing in listening to the people coming in, the assistant coaches that were here, Billy and some of the veteran players, just playing a little bit more connected and playing faster. And some of it was, how do we get out of our own end better? Like, let's get our breakouts organized, coming out of D-zone coverage organized, where we can play quick, fast, predictable, and then we can get up on the attack. So that's what we hammered right away. And then we just tweaked other things as it went on. And we made more major changes this year in training camp.
Listen, I know Cam asked you what makes a good coach, but I'm curious, what statistics are a true reflection of coaching? Is it special teams? Is it goals against? Like, what can you look at and be like, okay, that's a well-coached team based on, the trends that you see from the the stats that appear when you do your analysis of them?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is do they get the most out of the roster? I don't think there's necessarily a stat for that where you say that, but if you look at, you can look at a coach that has an elite level team and is up to the salary cap, right? And they're supposed to win. That's a hard job too. So is that coach getting the most out of a top team? I think there's other discrepancies in the league where maybe teams aren't at the salary cap. Maybe they're in a little bit of a rebuild. They're way under the cap. Is that team, are they getting the most out of the players? Whether that's top players, and the team is playing collectively strong as a group. I think that's a good mark for a coach that's not statistic based. I think if you look at statistics, probably from a defensive perspective, regardless of the talent level on your team, I think if there's structure, and your ability to play a strong team game in a checking perspective is a good benchmark. Your expected goals against, entry denials, odd man rush against, things like that, which are, probably more coachable sometimes than the offensive game. Sometimes the offensive game, you can have a great structure, but if you don't have the talent level that can execute at a high level, sometimes your offense isn't going to be as good as what it needs to be. I think it has to be probably team-based on where that particular team is at.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because I feel like no one ever expects Minnesota to be, I don't know, they just don't get the offseason credit that they probably deserve. Did you expect your team to be this good? You got the second most points in the league right now. I think you're tied with Washington, 1 point behind Winnipeg. Winnipeg got off to an amazing start. and you guys have just been pretty consistent. I know you had a tough one the other night against Vegas, and I guess the key is as a coach now how you respond from a game like that, man. But did you expect or think that your team was as good as what we're seeing to start the season?
We had a chance to be, to be honest. When I got here last year, probably very similar to you. You come in and you know Minnesota's it's a good team, but coming here last year and really seeing, like, there's some real players here, but like you have Kirill's for real, Boldy's for real, Faber's for real, Erickson X for real, Zook is for real, Brodeen, Middleton's, really come on as a top D. We knew that, Gustafson had the talent to be able to be a real player. Marco Rossi, like, and what I say by that is a lot of those guys are coming into their prime. And when you get here, you realize the talent that they have, how hard they're willing to compete. Billy's created a really good environment here from a team perspective. Like, there's no nonsense. Like, it's like there's no nonsense in the locker room, in and around the team, which makes it easy to coach. Now, coming into the offseason, we felt we needed to get more depth, because we are under the cap, obviously, with Parisi and the Suter buyouts, but we felt like we needed more depth within the lineup in case we got situations where there's going to be injuries. But I think when you look at how the team's put together, there's some real high-end talent. There's some great role players. I think there's a good mix of veterans and younger guys. And now it's just all, can we play the game the right way? Can we put together a system that's organized and detailed that fits this group, and then allow them to be able to go play? And that's what we've been able to do. I mean, our goaltending's been very good. Our 5-on-5 game's been, real solid. Our special teams have been a little bit up and down. We got to button that up, I think, to continue to move forward. But it's, is it a surprise that we've done so well? I don't necessarily know if it's a surprise, but I think the expectation was to play the way that we're playing, a real strong collective team game.
Speaking of goalies and, personalities in the locker room, you got to have different personalities in the locker room. But when you see a guy like Marc-Andre Fleury, like literally hanging out with the fans, doing this, I can only imagine how he is in the locker room, keeping everybody lively. He's fucking cleaning the sheets of ice during games. And he's unbelievable. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Flowers. I mean, he's exactly what you said. He's a unique guy, and I know. I think I said it. I think probably Billy said it at times. Like, he's a Hall of Fame player, but he's a Hall of Fame person. And like, for to play as long as he has, and for him to be as successful as he's been and continues to be, immense talent, unbelievable teammate, great guy to coach, but his love for the game. Like, to have a Hall of Fame guy on our team, he's always in the gym, works out. He's unbelievable in practice. Like just still today, the passion to practice after playing that long, competes on every shot, chirps the guys. He's all over them, and he's so good to people. It could be the cooks here, it could be the guys, the equipment guys, it could be the fans, it could be the security guys. Like, he just treats everyone the right way. He's a great person. Loves the game, great teammate. And I think that really helps. That helps the group dynamic when you have a guy that's that successful, that works that hard and has that humility to him, to still to this day be coachable and treat everybody, the same.
Yeah, no, he's an icon. There's awesome. The legend, man. There's no doubt. Hey, go back to what you said about no nonsense, because like Billy G, it's funny, man. He's such a character. Like, knowing him when he was a player, and he's one of my favorite people that I've ever really been around, to be honest with you, in terms of being around the NHL. Like, he's so funny. And so I would imagine, like, he keeps it loose. Like, I see some of the videos you guys put out, like going on the road and almost like, emulating like a youth hockey team and stuff like that. Like, so when you say no nonsense, what do you mean by that? Because, like, there's a fine line between no nonsense but still not being too uptight at the same time, right? So you got to find that balance.
Yeah, good. That's a great point. Billy's very similar. Like, he's very similar to Flower in my opinion. Like, he's had so much success in the game. But like you said, he's still like I knew Billy when he was playing, and then I knew him when he was player development when I was in Wilkes-Barre when he first retired and really came into the job. So I've seen him go from like player personality to player development to assistant GM to GM, now working back together. And everyone's like, oh, what's it like with Billy? I'm like, Billy's the same guy. He's hilarious. He keeps it light. Like, he knows the game. The thing with Billy is he knows people. And what I mean by no nonsense is, like, he has expectations of how certain rules that he has, whatever, be on time for the bus, be on time 15 minutes before the plane leaves. If you're not on time for the bus is leaving, period. Like, doesn't matter who it is, what it is. So he sets these standards and he's willing to hold everyone accountable to him, and everybody knows it. But as long as those standards are met, then he's Billy. He goes down, he's hilarious, he's cracking jokes. I think he leaves the players, alone. If he needs to address something, he addresses them. From a coaching perspective, he's great to work for. We communicate, but he lets you do your job. He wants to be informed on things, but he lets you coach the team, and you just have good communication with him. So I guess what I meant by no nonsense is there's really good people here, really good from I think the staff, the management staff, equipment guys, trainers, the players, all of it. Like there's just really good people here that do their job. They work. They know the expectations. So there's no drama, I guess, is what I meant.
Drama,
which is so key, man.
Yes.
You ever had to leave somebody behind on who didn't get there in time for the bus? You see him like running behind.
I'm here.
I haven't had that, but I guess before I got here, Billy said basically you got to be there 15. If the flight's at 1, you got to be there at 12:45.
Yeah. Door
shut at 12:45, and I think he left Jonas Brodin. He wasn't on the plane, and bang, plane left, and he went. So I think that was early in his tenure here. So, but that's what I mean. Like Billy's Billy. He's the same guy. You want to go have a beer with him. He's the best guy to go have a beer with him. Want to go golfing? Comes in the office, cracks jokes, everything's great. But there's going to be a time where he's going to be serious. And he just wants expectations met. And so that's what I mean. Like, even for me, it's not like I'm worried about on the road and he's not on the trip. Okay, bus leaves at 1:15. Guys are running. Kirill, Zook, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, these guys are running to the bus because they know it's gone. So that's what I meant. It's a great work environment because there's set expectations. Everybody knows that there's really good people here.
I love it. Hey, what were your conversations like with Matt Boldy when you got there? Because I remember, like, we had Dean Evison on, like, right after he got fired, actually. And I know Boldy was not scoring, like, down the stretch there before, Evison got fired. He was struggling a little bit. Maybe there was a little bit of back and forth going on. Did you have to talk to him when you first got there? Because he caught fire, like, pretty much right away. And you're right, man. This guy is legit. He's so much fun to watch. Like, there's a reason why he's on that USA roster. He's going to be good for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's funny because I think the game that Dean got let go, I think that day, the next game we played with St. Louis, of course, Boldy scores the first game, right? So I had nothing to do with that. But no, he what I find with Bolds is he was, he's a young guy. He was obviously going through a tough stretch. The team was going through a tough stretch. I didn't necessarily have to talk to him like right away. I think that he scored, and I think that got him going. But, for example, he's a young guy, and I think just having him understand what his game looks like and what he needs to do to be a real effective player. And, I think there was one game last year, I think it was San Jose. It was later in the year, and he was we were still pushing for the playoffs and things like that. And he wasn't having a great night. When he's moving his feet, strong on pucks, and playing a power game, his skill comes out. Sometimes he reverts to skill first. And then all of a sudden, he's not moving his feet, so he's not creating. And it was one where it's like just getting to know him. I think he's a really smart kid. Goes back to, I don't think getting on him and getting after him is the right thing with him. I think if you talk sense with him, show him a couple things. This is what we expect, have a conversation. He responds well. But I brought him in between periods, and I said, "Can you come in the office?" And, usually then you're like, "Oh, all right, I'm going to get," and he knows he's not playing well. I just sat down with him. I just said, "Bolts, look, I don't care about what happened in the first 40 minutes. Like, this is a tie game. We have to win this game. Like, we need you. If we're going to win this game, you need to get it. I don't care whatever happened, but we need you to come and be there. Move your feet, competitive on pucks. If we're going to win this game, you're going to be a major part of it. We need you for this one. Goes out. I think we scored 2 goals in the two first shifts. And then that's what he did. He went in, he hunted pucks, he got on pucks in the offensive zone, got to the net front, created a rebound. Kirill scored. And that's kind of with him, like just developing a relationship with him, seeing, okay, what makes him tick and what makes him work. Smart kid, but I think he's got opinions like every top player of their game, but it's just a little bit of reinforcement with him of, hey, this is what makes you. We got to see it better. Or sometimes bringing him in. Sometimes when you're saying, hey, this is why you're having success, man. Because look, watch these things that you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think some positive reinforcement with him works as well.
So are you excited about the 4 nations, or are you like, okay, like if you guys are rocking and rolling, you got your groove, and all of a sudden you take a couple of weeks off, and like, how do you look at this tournament? Are you like, hey, I mean, it's great for the game, but I don't want any injuries.
Yeah, I mean, you always think that, right? I think I'm excited to be able to go. I mean, it's going to be such a high level of hockey. I think in my experiences, like the World Championships or the World Cup in 16, like anytime you get an opportunity, I think as a player or a coach to go into those environments and work with other people and then work with other players, it's a huge benefit. I think anytime you can get into a high pressured, high profile situation, it's great for a coach and a player. So from that perspective, I think it's great for our guys to be able to go and play in that, because as you all know, eventually your goal is to be able to win the Stanley Cup and go deep in the playoffs. High pressure, high events, you those experiences help. But you're always concerned. Yeah, I don't want guys to be able to get injured, but guys can get injured too. In preseason, they can get injured on vacation. So I think it's one where you just gotta, like, it is what it is. I try to take the positive side of it. The fact that we do have guys going, I think it's a great benefit to them, and hopefully they bring back those experiences. And everyone that competes there has an opportunity to win. Hopefully the U.S. wins, which would be great.
Damn right.
But that's kind of how I look at it: is take the positive things that we can gain from it.
Listen, man, I remember watching Brock Faber last year and just being like, this guy is so like laser focused. Like, you watch him play. I know like NHL players in general, man, they're all focused and whatever, but like his just watching his eyes, like lining up for a face-off. And I was like, man, this guy should be the Calder Trophy winner. Bedard obviously had an injury. I mean, he was just so good and didn't come in with the same type of hype. So it probably took a little bit of time for people to really jump on his bandwagon just in terms of how good he is. And now people are like, well, John Carlson should have made the USA roster. I mean, does Faber really need to make it, man? But like, you're around this guy every day. How good is he? Like, what's his upside? Where is he now in terms of how good he can be 4 or 5 years down the road?
Yeah, I mean, Brock was really impressive. He was another guy when he came in last year, and you knew who Brock Faber was, but I didn't really know him. Mm-hmm. And then when I got the opportunity to coach him last year, his skating ability, I think his strength and size are real factors in him being a strong player. His willingness as a young guy to be able to defend, his rush defense, closing on plays, playing in the hard areas, the corners, the net fronts. He's got a real commitment there for a young guy to be that steady and play against top players was really impressive. And then because we had injuries, he wound up running our top power play, where he had never run a power play before. Even at the University of Minnesota, he didn't run the power play. And then all of a sudden you start to see his offensive game come where, okay, now he can run the top unit on the power play. He's learning that on the fly at the NHL. He's learning to use his skating from an offensive perspective to be able to join the rush and make plays off the rush. He's also using his mobility at the offensive blue line. So now you're starting to see like, wow, his game from just seeing him to where he grew last year was really impressive. And then coming back this year, he had a great summer. He came back bigger and stronger. And now, he continues to grow his game. And, for first year pro last year, second year pro this year, he's playing premier minutes and he's playing top players every single night. He's really, I think his upside continues to grow. But I think his his maturity and his mindset, as you said, and the physical abilities he has, I think he's going to be, a pretty for a long time. He's going to be a top defenseman.
Well, what should we know though about him? And Boldy too. Behind the scenes, are they just rink rats, man? Is it hockey? Do you have to get them away from the rink sometimes, or? These young guys, they come in, they want to do so much sometimes. They want to be so good so quickly, and a lot of times they are when you look at some of these young kids. But, what should we know that we don't see on a day-to-day basis by just watching them play games?
Yeah, both guys are like that. They love the game. They have drive, which is, they want to be good. And sometimes, as you said, I think their expectations for themselves as young guys is really high. And sometimes it's having them work through the times where maybe they make some mistakes or they're struggling a little bit because they care about the team. They care about being really good. And what I found with the two of them is there's really never any push to you got to compete harder. You got to practice better. You got to get in better shape. None of that occurs with those guys. It's more, I think, managing them of if they're not having a great game or they're going through a little bit of a struggle, is trying to just get them to settle down and go back to the main process of whether that's getting to their identity or simplifying a little bit. That's what I find with the two of those guys, because they're so competitive and so motivated that sometimes you got to manage that part of them, which is probably the best part to manage versus having to push a guy in those other areas.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this, because Jim Montgomery just got here to St. Louis after getting fired just days before in Boston. I think a similar situation with you, right? I don't know if you were expecting to get fired in Jersey, then you end up in Nashville, same season. What's that like, man, being on two benches in the NHL in the same season? Is it one day rock bottom, and then all of a sudden you get the call and you gotta find that energy once again, and just you just get refocused right away. What's it like to be in that situation? What do you think Monty's going through just in terms of going from Boston to St. Louis?
Yeah, Monty's I think mine was a month, almost exactly a month, maybe 3.5 weeks from when I got let go in Jersey to when I went to Nashville. Monty's, I think, was obviously a week or something like that.
Maybe
5 days. I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe, it is a whirlwind. It is a whirlwind because obviously, when you wind up getting let go, that you're going through some struggles, but you always feel like you have the answers and you're going to continue to work through to get those answers, but you're going through a tough time. So that in itself is a bit of a grind as you're pushing for the solutions and the answers. And then it's never easy. And then you get let go. It is. It's it's hard. And then you kind of go into that little process of all right, what could I have done better? What could I have controlled better? What was out of my control? And trying to really decipher those through, because you got to keep your confidence and your swagger too of that. Yeah, it didn't work, but like you said all the time, anytime a coach gets fired, a lot of times it's never all on the coach. There's situations that were in their control that maybe they didn't manage the right way, but there's other things out of your control. So you kind of going through that process, and then bang, you're up. You get another opportunity. I know in my situation, I'm sure with Monty, that it was one where, you were all competitors. You want to get back as quick as you can, because there is a thought too of okay, I'm on when I can do all this assessment, but I want to get back on the horse. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you get the call, I think you get fired up again right away. Okay, what's going on to the next one? Okay, I'm taking these lessons from this last situation. Now I got to dive into this next group. I got to learn about them. I got to learn about my staff. In season, it's on the fly. So it's you don't have any time. You're running on adrenaline, and then you're just pushing forward.
And the coaching carousel in the NHL is crazy. I mean, you have 2 weeks where you're losing games and you're supposed to be winning. You're kind of, people are writing some things and you're like, God damn, I might have to move cities again,
Yeah, it's I think with experience it gets better. Like someone was saying even too, when we got off to a great start and things like that, and it just seems like you're even keel all the time. It's well, the more experience you get, you understand when it goes really well, that's good, but you still it doesn't mean anything 10 games from now. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, how many guys win the Jack Adams and get fired the next year? So
Exactly.
you're coach of the year one year, and 3 months later, you're no longer the guy for the job, right? I think it's just understanding that, you know, you got to focus on your situation, do the best you can. I know people say it, but I'm telling you, if you really listen to the outside noise, when it goes good, you're going to be in trouble. When it goes bad, you're going to be in trouble. I think if you can stay focused, enjoy it, right? It's the best job in the world. Enjoy it, stay focused. And I think when you do that, I think you have a better presence and personality with your coach, with your coaches, with your team. And it is what it is. It's what we signed up for. But if you get distracted by it, I think it can weigh on guys.
Yeah, I saw it last night, and Peter Laviolette, you know, being here in St. Louis, I mean, the Rangers are going through it right now. Everyone's like speculating this and that, you know, but, you know, they've made some moves that have probably rocked the dressing room a little bit, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, just trying to maintain that day-to-day, you know, vibe inside keep everybody upbeat and keep everybody positive and really trying to turn the page game in and game out and just focus on the next game at hand. It's cliche, but that's really all you can do, right?
It is, and it's hard. It's hard to do that because it's you know, when the team's like, you have to be able to take care of yourself as the head coach, and that's why I said sometimes when you can get caught up when it goes really, really well, and all of a sudden your details slip and you're just letting things ride, and all of a sudden you know in this league that when it goes really well, there's a storm coming. Right. And a lot of times whether you have 2 or 3 days off or 3 days between games, you know, you're coming back with a 4 and 6 with a back-to-back versus the rest of the team. Right. So that's what I mean. Like it's the most challenging league in the world for a reason. And I think the hardest thing is when you can't get too high and you can't get too low. It's probably easier to not get too high than it is not to get too low, because when it doesn't go well, then you start to get hammered from different areas, right? Could be within the team, could be the general manager, it could be the owner, could be the media. Not that you have to pay attention to the media, but the reality in our job is maybe you're not on Twitter or you're not reading all the headlines, but we got to hit the media every day, sometimes twice a day. So you know in your media conferences what the vibe is, right? Probably what's being said, because you're getting asked that all the time. And I think you got to know what that is and manage it. I think if you can take care of yourself, you know, personally, and I think experience helps when you've gone through it and you've gone through adversity, you know it's not going to kill you. So you got to do what's right in the situation. And I think if you can do that, it gives yourself the best chance to be the best coach to get out of those tougher situations.
Yeah, it's kind of cliche, but they say it all the time that like a coach, after they get fired, they get their second job, they're a better coach the second go around than they were before, or maybe the third go around versus the second job. I mean, do you feel like that's the case? Like, are you a better coach today than you were when you were in Jersey or even Nashville?
Yes, 100%. I think you learn so many different things if you use them. You know, I think in Jersey, I had some time in between jobs to kind of assess some things. You know, then you go to Nashville and it's a different situation. New Jersey was a rebuild situation. Nashville was more of a veteran team. And then in between the Nashville experience and Minnesota, I had a lot of time. And I went back too, and I talked to players. I talked to my old GMs, you know, kind of really self-assessed other assistant coaches. I said, okay, here's why you got here. Here's some real strengths, but here's some areas that you want to be able to change, or here's some situations that you can handle differently. And I do think the more opportunities you get, if you really assess and take the good from it, but also have the hard conversations and try to get exposed. Like, tell me exactly how I didn't handle this right. Why did you feel that way? What went wrong in this situation? And you really get it, and you're willing to listen to that, and you can take those lessons and move on, then I think you're going to be a better coach every chance that you get. And the other thing I would say is that the things that we just talked about, that you're going to get criticized publicly. You're going to, you got to learn how to manage the top players. You got to also learn how to manage the whole team. How do you deal with the general manager? How do you deal with the owner? When all those things come on, it's a storm of stuff. And I think the more experience you get in handling those things the right way, then you're always going to be a better coach at each opportunity that you get.
Do you, if you're hard on a guy, it's a weird game, maybe one of your top guys is struggling, and you're on him on the bench, do you respect when they clap back at you, or do you want them to kind of just, no, just listen what the hell I have to say, talk to me later, go do your job? I mean, some coaches respect that when they look back like, no, this is what the fuck I did. Like, how are you when it comes to that?
I'm fine with it. It doesn't happen a lot, because a lot of times I'm not, every now and then it might happen, but I think if it does, it's fine. I think then it's your job as the coach to put it to bed. Okay, we'll deal with it later. Like I got it. It's not the right time and place. Like move on. I think particularly in the game, I think if it's a situation like that, I think in a one-on-one meeting, I don't have any problems with that. I think sometimes the conflict is fine because you want to have, if someone doesn't agree with something, you don't want yes people either, just to say, okay. Then they walk out of your office and say, well, that's bullshit. I don't like what he said, right? I'd rather you tell me to my face. But I think in the game, in those situations, if you do get on someone and there is a little bit of pushback, as long as it's respectful, a respectful pushback, it is what it is. That's fine. We'll move on. We'll deal with it later. Let's get back to playing. I think in this environment, you have to have thick skin, whether you're the coach or whether you're the player. Some have thicker skin than others, but I think it's all got to be done the right way.
How do injuries affect you, man? Like when I think Middleton has gone down with an injury, right? You had a goalie get hurt too. Like how does that? I mean, it's easy, man, to say, hey, next man up. But like when they're critical, important players, like how long does it take you to take a deep breath, knowing the player that you're putting in isn't as good, and there's going to be a hole regardless of who you're putting in the lineup to replace that player. Like, how do you get over it, and how do you just deal with it?
Yeah, it's never easy. Sometimes if you get one guy, it's okay. But when you get multiple guys, a lot of times that again is where you have to maintain, I think, the composure as the coach and, how you respond to it. I think the messaging to the team and how you deal with that, is really important. But you only can control what you can control. Like, okay, the guys are injured. Really, your mind just goes to, okay, we can't replace him, but how do we divvy up the minutes? What would be the next best situation? Who's the next best penalty killer? Where do we put him him on the power play? If it's a goalie, okay, how do we want to manage the guys? Okay, we got another guy coming up. You're always going into the solution mode, and you're trying to find the best solution when you have guys out for fits or combinations, or just how do you divide up his role? If one person can't come in and fill it, what's the best way to divide it up where you can try to get the best out of the people that are filling those roles at that time?
How's that Kaprizov? Like, we watched some of his highlights, and he's just 10-2 it throughout the offensive zone. No one can touch him. He goes bar down. Like, what's his ceiling look like?
His ceiling's still growing. He to me is he's been really impressive. His love for the game and to compete is like, it's real. You see him practice games. One of the first guys on, last guys off in practice. The more you play him in the game, the better he gets. The more competitive the game, the better he gets. He's a highly skilled, highly talented player, but when you really watch him play, like, he's so competitive on the puck. He's willing to play in the corners in the O-zone, gets to the net front. He's willing to play without the puck. He's got good defensive details. He'll track, he'll back check. He'll come in, he'll stop in D zone. He has some times where, he can use his anticipation skills to be able to have some freedom in certain areas, but like basically the complete package. And like he's one of these guys too. You play him, the more you can play him in a game, the better he gets. His engine and fitness level is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. He doesn't cheat the game, but he can go out and play 22. Like last night, he played 28 minutes. 28 minutes against Vegas.
Jesus Christ.
And he was flying. And he was flying. But the one thing I'll tell you too, where it's difficult to manage him a little bit, is that he practices all out in the regular practice. Then he plays high minutes. Then he's out after practice 30 to 40 minutes. Working on little things. Not hard stuff, but all those shots on the left side, we see him bank the shot, the one-timers, the 10 and 2. He's out there 30, 40 minutes after practice, sometimes even pregame skates, just working on that stuff.
Are you like, get the fuck off the ice?
Yeah, you're playing 25 minutes. It's a day in between games, but this, we give the team, the other day, I think we gave him like 2 days off at one time when we can. I don't like 2 days off. Like of all people, you think he might need it, but this dude loves the game, loves the rink, loves the game. He's a top player for a reason. Highly talented, highly motivated.
Is he a health nut? Does he just eat great? I mean, like to be able to play that much.
28 minutes in regulation, by the way. It wasn't an overtime game, right?
No, it wasn't overtime, and we didn't have a power play except till the end. We had 6-on-5.
He scored a couple.
How does he get all this energy? It's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's in great shape. I do think he really takes care of himself. But the other thing too, what's great about him is like you might go on the road, and they got like a team outing or they're gonna have like a team party or something like that. He'll be the first guy in. He'll have a couple beers. He'll be with the guys. He's one of the team. But he does take care of himself. And I think the talent and the motivation and the drive has been really impressive.
I think most people would maybe relate to this. And I'm curious as a coach, is it hard to just stay out of the contract negotiations? Like, do you call a player in and be like, listen, man, like you're not leaving me, man. You can't leave this team. We need you here. Let's get this done. Or do you stay completely out of it? Like, how do you go about that, especially when it's that guy?
Yeah, well, I'd love to do that, but I don't, because it's, as the coach, you do have to stay out of it. It's really between the management and the agent and the player. I think if you're getting involved in that, now sometimes a player may come to you and talk to you about something, which is fine. They may ask you for your advice or what do you think of this situation? Then I think you can have a conversation. But, like right now, like I wouldn't go to say Kirill, if that's what you're asking, eventually to say like, hey, please don't go. This is what it is. I think that's the business side of the game, right? And that's the management, the agent, and then the player has to do that. I think as a coach, if you get involved in that, you could also maybe hurt your relationship with the player. Like our job is to coach the guys that we have and have those relationships. If a player asks you something, I think you can answer that. But for the most part, it's probably better to stay out of those things. You're
like, hey, Billy, Kirill and I are here. We just agreed on a 8-year extension. So
for $200 million.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. That's where funny Billy would stop.
Yeah.
And it would become serious Billy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so if you needed to get a vibe of the locker room without addressing the whole locker room, like who are you calling in your office? Is it Big Marcus?
Yeah, I like really multiple guys. I think our three captains are really good. Spurgeon's excellent. He's got a good feel. And you know what I like is they're all different. Spurgey's the older veteran guy, kind of like the dad. Then you have Moose Foligno. He's the alpha.
Yeah.
And then you got Kirill, right? He's a guy that, is a really observant guy. I think I get a good feel, and those guys are honest with me, what they see. But then you also got Flower, Zach Bogosian, Zook. Like you got guys that they've been around a long time. They have a good feel, and they're not afraid to tell you, good or bad. They're going to tell you because it's, they've seen everything. And usually it might be the three captains, or it might be a one-off, with other guys, just to check in, whether it's the team thing or even sometimes even with a particular player.
Hey, I'll tell you what Bogosian's doing today. He's hunting wild boar today
with his bare hands.
Oh yeah. He shows up to the rink. He's got his duck boots on. He's got his stuff on. Yeah, the other day in the off day, he was building an ice rink for his kids. So he's doing something outside. I know that.
Oh yeah, no, he was sending us pictures in the summer. We had him on, and he's like hiding in the dark. He's like, what was he doing? Hunting like pig, whatever.
No, he's hunting wild boar
in the dark.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Do you have hobbies, man? You have time for any hobbies? What are you doing when you want to take a break from hockey?
Yeah, in the in season, it's not too much. I got a wife and three girls, so obviously the family stuff takes priority in season.
Hmm.
Whether that's being with them, going to their events, spending time with them, that's probably the biggest thing. I enjoy in season. I enjoy watching other sports. Like I like watching football or going to the movies or watching movies, stuff like that. In season, it's really kind of chill time with the family or just taking a breather. In the summertime, I enjoy golf. Like I really like to golf. So I do that. I do that quite a bit. And then other than that, fish a little bit, but probably in the off season, it's more golf, work out, spend time with the family, stuff like that.
Yeah. He would take Bogosian, by the way, getting back to that, he would take Pat Maroon with him, who'd be scared as shit in the middle of the dark, And
Patty will get you killed.
Patty speaks highly of you, by the way,
Yeah.
man. He likes you, even back when you had him, I think, in Jersey, too. Didn't he get traded there in Jersey when you were there?
Yeah, I had him in Jersey. Yeah.
Speaks highly of
He's the
you.
man. I love him. I wish he stayed here longer last year, but it didn't work out. But yeah, Patty's great.
You should have negotiated that, Johnny. You should have gotten involved.
I know. But
Come on, Billy.
That was him and Billy.
Hey.
So maybe if I got involved in that, he wouldn't like me, right? There
Hey,
you go.
Shit.
couple more things for you, man.
Yeah,
You've been
you've been
great.
awesome.
We appreciate it. Do you talk to other coaches during the season? Like, is that something? Like all the GMs, like they talk. They're on text chains. Is it the same thing with coaches? Like, who you tightest with?
Yeah, you know what? I think at times you do. I talked to Sully. I talked to Torts a little bit. I talked to Elaine Nazardine in Dallas. Guys that you have some relationships with, because sometimes everyone gets so. I'll talk to Coop sometimes. I used to talk to Quinny when he was in San Jose. Yeah, like there's more guys than that you would talk to. Sometimes it's on the phone. Sometimes it might be when you play them. But it's not, I'd say on a regular basis. It might be something where you're like, I'm struggling with this. What do you think about this situation? How would you handle this? What are you doing in this? It's usually quicker conversations. In the summer, there's way more dialogue. And sometimes you might meet with guys or they're longer conversations about different things. But yeah, so it's sometimes in season, I wouldn't say a ton.
You talk to Torts about like the Michigan and stuff like
He lost that battle.
Does that bother you when these guys, because Kaprizov will try to do some stuff too,
yeah.
man. I mean, he's creative with the puck. You let that go? Are you old school? Are you in the middle? Or you want to see as much creativity as possible? Where do you stand on that stuff?
I think it's time and place, right? I think I think there's times where you want to allow those guys to have creativity because it's so hard to score in the league that when you have players that have those offensive abilities that, you don't see it, nobody else sees it, but they make a play. I think you got to give them those freedoms. I think if it's, a tie game, I think it all comes down to the situation. I like to give the guys the freedom to be able to do that. Just use it at the right times, because I do think that there's times even with Kirill or, I had Taylor Hall or, Duchesne or Forsberg or Yossi or these guys in Nashville, like it's so hard to score in the league. And sometimes they make a play that, you're like, no. Yeah. And then bang, it's in the back of the net. And you're like, yes, good play. So you gotta give them that freedom. But I think sometimes you do have to talk to them about, was this the right play for the time and the score? And just try to work with them to understand when's the right time and when it's not.
Are you seeing anything from younger players who are coming out of college versus the CHL versus European players? Like, is one guy more prepared for the NHL versus the next, or is it just depending on the individual kid?
I think it's really the individual kid. I think that, you've seen some kids that have come out of college and they're prepared and ready to step in right away. Other guys aren't. We've had some players here that have come over from Europe that are ready to step in right away. Same thing with Major Junior. I think it really comes down to the individual player, like the probably their ability. I think from a physical standpoint to be able to play regularly in the NHL is a big factor. The other thing is sometimes just the maturity of the player personally or the maturity in their game. I think those are probably the separators of no matter where they come from. If they have two of those three, a lot of times they have a good chance to play. If they only have one, sometimes they need a little bit more seasoning. But I haven't seen like anyone coming from any particular area where you're like, yeah, that's automatic. It's probably players specific.
Yeah. Hey, last thing for you, and I should have said major, junior, not CHL, because all my USHL friends, they all get mad at me if I don't say the USHL too, and I just say the CHL. Hey, but like coaching with the U.S. program, I know it's been a long time. I know some of the kids that were there, not kids now, but like some of them have kids who are playing, who play with my son now, who were at the U.S. program when you were there helping out and coaching. Man, how did that set the table for you? To get into coaching and have all the success you're having now as a head coach.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so thankful I had the opportunity. It was a unique job as a young coach to come in. And why I say that is, one, I was a younger coach, so I was able to work with. There's 2 staffs at the national program. So you're picking the brains of 2 head coaches, 2 assistant coaches. At that point, I was a graduate assistant. So you're kind of in a laboratory there where you're working with, as you said, you talk to other coaches, or, here it's just our staff. In the American League, it's just your staff. In college, it's just your staff. At the national program, you have 6 other guys that come from different backgrounds. It's a little bit of a laboratory of bouncing ideas around. That was awesome. And the amount of people I had the opportunity to work with there was a huge benefit. Then on top of it, you're working with top end young players that have talent and drive, and like they're coachable. They're still at a point in their life where, you can push them in the weight room. You can experiment and practice in developing them because they're young and they're talented. They all want to get to the next level. So it was a high octane environment that way. And then you also get the different fields. You're playing against college, Europe. You're going to Europe. You're traveling to Europe. You're playing against, at that point when I was there, we were playing against the OHL, the USHL, North American League. So now as a young coach, you're coming in, you get an opportunity to work with great players on a big stage. You're seeing all different levels of hockey. You're getting to Europe. So you're seeing your experience level as a young coach was fantastic. And I think that really set a strong base and opportunity for me to, I think, grow and just develop as a young guy and can continue to push forward.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Hey, listen, all the best.
Good
best
luck
of luck
to you,
the rest
dude.
of the season.
Good luck to you.
Congrats on all the success you guys have had, the first half here, and best of luck in the Four Nations, man. Coaching with USA Hockey, that's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to watching that too.
USA, baby.
USA, let's go. Hey,
Let's go.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. It was good hanging with you guys.
Yeah,
right on, buddy.
All the best, man. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, happy holidays. See you, bud.
See you guys. Yep. Happy holidays.
Right, all right, Johnny. See you, man. The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was John Hynes, man. And he's cool as shit. I hope you enjoyed that interview. We love getting head coaches on, man. I feel smarter every time we get a head coach on.
of course, man. I love picking their brains.
Yes.
They're interesting.
Yeah.
They're very detailed.
Very disciplined.
Every coach is different in their ways, But it's hard being an NHL coach. It really is. Hard to keep the guys motivated. It's such a grind. Like, how do you – I said this before. Like, all teams are separated by skill. Like, I get that in the NHL. Totally. But they're more separated by a coach feeding the energy, getting the energy out of these guys every night when you travel from there to there to there to there. Like, you could have the most skilled team in the world, but if they're not energetic and they're just like, boop, 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 they're going to get their ass kicked by San Jose. They're going to get their ass kicked by fucking Utah or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to keep the energy going. That's the most difficult part as a coach, in my opinion, is to keep that going every fucking day.
I don't know if you saw my intermission interview with Robert Thomas yesterday, but he did say, like, when you play at home, that home fan base can get you going.
Yes, it's all about, like, getting the most out of your players. I don't care if they're one team's more skilled than the other. It's like, who has the most? Who's getting the most? Coach is getting the most out of you every single shift. And if your legs aren't working, you got to use your brain. If your brains aren't working, you got to use your legs. If they're both not working, then get the fuck off.
Did you hear Colton Parayko last night in our post-game interview talking about what it meant to him to play for Hockey Canada and everything? This guy is
the real deal, baby. I love Colton Parayko.
Any of y'all want to chirp him for representing his countrymen? You're going to be glad you have him.
I remember getting on the plane the other day with Cole. I go, "What's up?" And he's just like writing down like math problems on this like weird little thing. I go, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just da 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 da." I'm like, "Okay."
He's
like right
he's
now,
the
man.
best.
Just like putting like calculations together. He's just like, I'm just putting this together.
He's like, I need.
He's just.
He
awesome.
goes to me yesterday. He's like, God, I need to do Christmas shopping tomorrow. I go, Amazon. But then I'm thinking as I was driving home, I'm like, he's probably hooking this girl up with some like Louis Vuitton and shit. Like, you're not getting that on
you
Amazon.
should, man.
You can go online. Probably still will get here by Christmas time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have that on Amazon, for example. But like, these guys, they don't have time to even do that type of shit. I got to give a shout out to Claude Julien though, because
Cloud, he hooked your wife up.
How'd you know that?
Because he told me.
Did he?
He goes, your little partner. Everybody calls Andy little. It's the funniest fucking thing.
I love Claude.
He comes up to me, and goes, "Hey, I hooked your little partner's wife's your mother-in-law.
Yeah,
mother-in-law.
I can't believe you knew
He's
that.
like, I had $100 bill or whatever.
He gave her $100.
Yeah.
And she did not want the $100. She's volunteering to do that. She's been doing it for years.
Cloud.
She wraps
So
presents
cool, man. He's
at
so
the
awesome.
mall, dude. Holiday
Yeah,
season.
that's nice of
because
him.
she's got a great heart and she's
That's
a great
sweet.
person.
That's sweet to do. I'm
Yeah.
not chirping.
Yeah. No, you were chirping earlier.
No, I was not. I just said, I
And-
said
and
Happy
just-
Hanukkah.
well, that's fine.
That's all I said was
We
like,
got a
are
lot
you
of
going to a
Jewish
temple?
listeners too. So happy Hanukkah to everybody. Happy whatever you celebrate. Happy everything.
Yeah.
So Claude and my wife, my mother-in-law, she's so funny because she watches whatever because like to see whatever if I'm on or whatever but she doesn't really know what's going on, who the coach is, and she knew the coach was fired, so she was like, I just met Jim Montgomery and Jim Montgomery gave me $100 bill, because she sees the ball guy, right? So it's like because she said she went home and looked up online the coaches to see who it was, and she's like, it was Jim Montgomery. So I said, Monty, you gave my mother-in-law a $100 bill. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we at the mall getting presents wrapped. He's like, oh my God, I wasn't at the mall. He goes, that's the last place I'm going to be right now is at the mall. Monty gets loud and everything.
Oh, yeah. He's so funny.
And I'm like, shit. He goes, and then Jamie Rivers was right there. He goes, no, it was Claude Julien. So he must have been next to you when Claude said that.
Me and Jamie was walking close like, hey, your little partner.
My little partner. He's
your little partner. I hooked his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
He only had like a couple dollar bills and he had a hundo.
He's cool as shit.
Fuck,
too.
is he cool? Yeah, I
So
told you that
nice.
when I played with him in 07.
Well, we had him on the podcast.
Yes. Did he get into a jam?
Yeah, you get skiing.
Skiing, where he almost
Or
died.
snowmobiling
No.
or something.
He was skiing.
Sledding
in Switzerland.
with Hockey Canada prior to the Olympics.
And he goes down the wrong way.
And he
there's
hit a
cliff.
tree.
There's like a cliff, and he had to hit a tree, and it fucked him up for
Oh,
months.
broken like femur and shit.
So, like, I saw that the other day with a weird video where this girl's like, I'm sledding
Yeah,
this
you gotta
way.
be careful
And
with
she
that.
went down the other way, and there's a cliff, and fucking.
What do you want for Christmas? What are you hoping for? Because
I'll tell you. I need a new goddamn phone. You see this stupid ass fucking thing I got? I tried the other day. Kate's like, you got to get a new phone
that's a case.
So I go into goddamn Apple. They're like, we don't have a case. This thing's 5 years old.
Oh shit.
I go, no wonder it sucks.
Yeah, your phone sucks.
So Kate's like, I'm going to get a new phone. So.
Because I'm not getting you that.
No, you give me dog shit.
Dude,
That's what you give me. You give me a jockstrap that's not going to fit
Look how many presents I got you.
The
dude.
stupidest thing ever.
Well, you don't know what's going to be in the surprise box.
Andy's like, I went to the drugstore and I got you a present. I'm like, fuck yeah. What do we got going here? And then he gives me a goddamn jockstrap and cards. Get out of here. Koozies. I have 50,000 koozies at my house. Get out of here.
Those are cool as shit.
No, they're not.
Hook Denny up with some of that stuff.
You think he doesn't have a koozie? Jesus Christ.
Hey, man. Happy
Waste of
holidays to everybody.
We love you guys.
We're going to take a little bit of a break just so
Yeah.
people know. Like we
Yeah.
do this every year,
Yeah.
Christmas time. Next Tuesday, we're not going to release an episode on Christmas Eve. We want you to be with your families
No
and
doubt.
enjoying the holidays. And
No
I know you're like, we'd still have you on in the background or listen to you. And,
I know.
And we appreciate that.
We love
but
you guys, so.
we don't want to
girls.
make our staff have to work on Christmas
No.
Eve and
No,
all
no,
that.
no.
And
Or
on
have
New-
somebody-
and on New Year's Eve.
No.
We want everyone just to be
Chill.
able to chill out.
Let's chill.
We still have 2 episodes coming out the next 2 Tuesdays, but they're the best of from 2024. So if you're new to us, man, maybe you haven't checked out some older episodes from earlier in the year. And we're going back 4 or 5 years now, man. So, listen to a lot of the old episodes, dude.
We love you guys.
I ran into somebody last night who was saying he's been listening since day one. And
I
just
know.
talking about something like, God, I don't even
When I
remember
was walking
that.
in Canada, I had people come up to me and say they listened from day one.
Yeah.
So it's such a good feeling hearing that. By
It
the
is
way,
a
guys.
great
We
feeling.
love all you.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you after New Year's and
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Don't get too crazy with the political stuff.
Oh yeah. Thanksgiving's the same thing. Yeah.
I just want you to know, don't get too. Just be civil with everything.
And you know what? Be nice to people.
Be nice to everybody. It's all good. Now, if you gotta stand your ground, all good.
Mhm.
No big deal. All good. But just do it in a civil way.
And you know what? And I mean this. Think about the people who are hurting this
Yeah,
time
Andy,
of
they
year.
listen, Andy, they know that.
What? No, I'm saying
Everybody that's hurting, we know. Like we
no,
talk about
like
that.
families that are like have suffered loss and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's eating. Listen. Everybody's going through
shit
the
sandwich.
shit
Were
sandwich.
you gonna say that?
Fuck yeah. Everybody's eating a shit sandwich. They are. Just be nice to everybody. Don't get too crazy with Auntie, who's
Auntie
progressive.
who?
Auntie Ann, who's progressive as fuck. Don't get into a fight with her and ruin fucking Christmas. Be nice.
Can you
and
talk
civil.
Caitlin Clark at dinner?
Sure, but just be civil.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. That's it.
Are you upset with Caitlin?
I just feel like she's just in a weird spot, man.
I mean, when she drills her first 3, though, when the season starts, it's all going to be forgotten. When she gets her first triple-double, when she drives the lane
It's gonna
and
hurt.
uses her left hand,
It's gonna hurt.
when she boxes out and,
okay.
gets those rebounds.
Yeah, yada yada yada. Listen,
and those putbacks,
I just think that she was in a different.
when she defends at the highest level,
I think that people will be like turned off a little bit by that.
her
and that's
first
fine.
no-look pass.
I'll still watch her highlights and stuff like that. Like, am I watching? Listen, no one's watching WNBA anyway. Unless
Hey, I'll
Caitlin's
tell you
playing.
this. Her fan base in Iowa is not thinking the same way she is. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I'm saying? And they are pissed.
They're not pissed. They're like, oh, they're kind of disappointed.
Like
oh.
what she said was like, it's probably coming from a good place, but she also got like bullied into like
good place.
having to like
You have to just respect everybody. She
disrespect
does.
everybody.
Like you
Just
don't have to
be-
like come out and say that you're white privilege and stuff like that. People
Yeah.
are like, what the fuck?
what kind of privilege? You don't have white privilege.
White privilege? What do you
on the
mean? You're
basketball
unbelievable.
court.
No shit.
A basket is 2 points.
Exactly. You used to get 3 points.
A basket is a basket. A steal is a steal.
You stole that because you're white. You made that basket because you're white. Your white privilege made that. Your skill set is because you're white. Come on. It's just,
Well, she has just such a unique skill set,
She's
Cam. I mean, her
unbelievable.
ability to use her right hand or her left hand, she can put the ball on
Okay,
the
we
floor.
gotta go.
She can shoot from
We
the
gotta go.
outside.
We love
her
all you.
passing ability,
Merry
her
Christmas.
ability to make others
Hopefully you
around
get
her
a-
better.
Hopefully you get better presents than
her
I did.
ability to crash the boards.
Hopefully
I
you-
mean, she is a.
Hopefully your business
plays at
partner
both
isn't
ends of the
cheap
floor.
like mine and recycle gifts.
Mm.
Andy recycles gifts. I'd rather you give me a fucking dead cat in there than this
Caitlin Clark for 3. Good.
shit. See you guys. Love all y'all.
Here's Caitlin down the hole. Caitlin to the ball
Bye.
Caitlin to the basket for 2.
Bye, guys. Love all y'all.
Happy holidays.
See you
everyone.
guys. Bye.